Welcome, everybody, to the 39th episode of Screaming Into the Void. I'm your host, Samuel the Infamous, and with me are my co-hosts, Kat, the Hijabi Gamer, Ryan.
What's up?
Just Ryan this week.
Mhm.
And Leighton Gay.
Yo! What the fuck?
Oh, that's what that says.
Yeah, it says Leighton Gay.
Do you not have
Leighton
the thing?
Gay.
Yeah,
I
I'm
have the
always
what?
Leighton Gay.
You don't have like the small little tags?
Oh, I haven't set those up, no.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we could at some point. I just never really got around to it. All right, welcome everybody. Glad to see you all. Say hello to the chat real quick while we're
Yeah, whatever.
on topic. Hey, you know what? All right, Bo, good to see you. Logical Spock. Hey, Muggsy, long time no see. That's a lie. We were just in another chat together. UA, good to see you. Hi, Luke Castley.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily one of my favorite people on the internet. Luke Castley. She's awesome. So today we're diving into a little bit of so back when I started doing these, the idea was to talk about like whatever random crap popped into my head, basically. I mean, it was a little bit more refined than that, but it boils down to basically that. And I thought that perhaps we could try and get a little bit back to that. We're going to discuss life outside of the terrestrial sphere, aliens. And I don't mean in a sci-fi sense, but in a crashed in New Mexico sense, or might be floating through the outer reaches of our solar system right now sense.
Or Macross Island, perhaps.
Yeah, possibly. And I'd like to be. There's a very famous quote from the science fiction author Arthur C. Clarke that I'm sure a lot of you are aware of. Two possibilities exist: either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying.
Yeah.
He's right.
It's a good point.
Yeah, it's and that's the fact of it. It's like either we are alone. We are the only extant example of sentient life in existence, or we're not.
That'd be a boring universe, though.
It really would.
All right. He was actually referring though to sentient life, intelligent life, and the existence of other life. It means very, very little in that quote.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Shut up, Carrie.
No. Finish your thought.
Oh no, it was finished.
Fair enough. And Boa brings up. He said, is there intelligent life down here? I mean, probably not. I don't know. That's not the topic. I think we've got a planet full of lunatics and retards. There was a comic book years ago, Frank Miller. It was a sequel to The Dark Knight Returns called The Dark Knight Strikes Again. And one of the issues with why the rest of the universe, like, aliens and such, were leaving Earth alone after a certain point was because we were the only planet in the universe that was insane enough to point guns at ourselves. Because at that time there was an array of satellites and whatnot with like orbital weapons platforms all aimed at the planet, not at the universe at large.
Hold on to that thought.
So, but so they were just like, yeah, these guys are nuts. Fuck them. And it's I would not say that there was no truth to that. Star Wars Defense Platform comes to mind, for instance.
Let's talk about that in a minute too. Somebody, are we taking notes? We're not taking notes. We need to talk about that later.
Possibly we will, but for right now, we're looking at the possibility of life elsewhere. Now we know through. I don't want to say that it's a definite thing. I think that scientists like to say, "Hey, we discovered this thing, and it's definitely for real." But I think a lot of it is supposition and guesswork, particularly when it concerns things that are so far away that we can't really see them, like exoplanets, for example.
Hmm.
You know, we
What?
we think that there are a bunch, billions and billions of exoplanets, planets outside of our solar system, so in other solar systems or floating around or doing whatever, and they all have like their own weird quirks and stuff. Very, very, very few of them support the conditions that we would recognize as life supporting. But there are supposedly a handful of them out there that are not too dissimilar from Earth, from what we understand, and we're getting more and more clear images with like the JWST, that kind of thing. Or for those who don't know what that is, James Webb Space Telescope, which is what replaced the Hubble. A lot of great images coming from that, but again, things are so far away that it's almost like if there was an alien civilization on a planet that we could see, we wouldn't necessarily be able to see the civilization given how information and light and radio waves and whatnot, travel. It just take too long for us, any more than they could probably see us. The distances are vast. But that doesn't mean they're
Well,
not.
we can see the effects of their civilization infinitely farther than we can see the civilization itself, though.
Hmm.
I would agree with you, depending on like how far out it is, because we know, for example, the closest star system to us is what, Alpha Centauri. It's about 8
Yeah,
light
it's
years away.
about 100. What? Well,
It's
maybe
it's like 8 light years away.
really that
Yeah,
close?
yeah, that close,
Wow.
but that still means that light takes 8 years to travel
Yep.
to us from that star, and 8 years again for light to travel from us back to them.
Ah.
You know,
Yeah.
like our own star is about 8 light minutes away. You know, from Earth. So like it takes about, like, the sunlight that you're seeing is about 8 minutes old.
Yep, that's
Hmm.
about right. Yeah.
Which also means that if it ever goes supernova, that's how long we have to live. But
Okay. Can we focus on life and not death?
right. So, but you know, given the vast distances, like even with the closest star system that might possibly support life, and we don't, I think that they think that there might be a planet in the Alpha Centauri system, but it's not in what you would call the Goldilocks zone, for example. I think it's like tidally locked and it's out way past where, you know, it would support life, kind of thing. But assuming that there was life there, right? You know, that we could probably definitely, I think, Carrie, you're right. We could see the effects, certainly, of their civilization, because 8 years in the span of things is not that long a time. But for others, where it takes, you know, hundreds or thousands or even millions of years for the light to reach us, there's no way to know. You know, it depends on how old their civilization is. Say they're developing along a similar path to us, right? Well, we've only been making our presence known in, you know, a noticeable way from a distance for, I would say, God, not even 200 years. You know,
We made our first attempt at contact in my lifetime, 1979, 78, 79, something like that.
sure, but I'm just even talking about like radio waves, like broadcasting.
Okay.
You know,
Sure.
like the kind of things that that would eventually reach another star system. It'll still be hundreds of years before it gets to anywhere that where somebody might pick it up.
Well, yeah. He's right.
Hmm.
You know, so hey Shadow, good to see you. I don't know if that's the case. You know, possibly.
No, actually, Shadow's got a point, unfortunately. Uh, uh, he was one of the first people to be on television.
Hmm.
Fair. Are you talking like broadcast live?
Broadcast at all. The 1938 Olympics were broadcast on television.
Sure, but that wouldn't give you an accurate
Guess it's-
depiction of the man himself, because I mean it was a worldwide competition that ostensibly was held in peace.
Well, I didn't say it was. Well, I can't say much about it. His face is one of the first things they will see. They won't understand much about it, but his face is one of the first things they will see.
Hmm.
Uh,
And a nice one too. Like they'll see him as a leading. Interesting.
Shadow, they would not understand what he was. They wouldn't even understand that he's a world leader or anything. They'll see a man in a funny looking hat in front of a camera and not understand what's going on, unless they
Yeah.
happen to speak English.
I think Carrie's got a point, is because like sci-fi has kind of allowed us to imagine that communication is even possible, but the very term alien kind of precludes that. We won't necessarily understand a damn thing about what they are or what they're trying to say any more than they would us. Who's to say that their form of life takes a form that we would even recognize as life?
Hmm.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think aliens exist for one really dumb, simple reason. It's too cool. Life is too boring for something that cool to exist. That's how I know. Every time, I'm sorry. Every time something like, do you think this is ever going to happen? No, because it's too cool. That's about it.
I know one thing. If there's no other intelligent life in the universe, it means that there's a reason there's no other intelligent life in the universe, and that has only one explanation.
Yeah. Shadow, I know we can communicate with dolphins. We can also communicate with certain primates and other animals. You have to keep in mind that not only are they also terrestrial, but they're also mammals. We have more in common with them than we don't.
Yeah. Mammalian life in the universe is a highly improbable scenario. That's why the reptiles did so well for so long.
Yeah, and I think that the probability of it being carbon based is pretty high. But again, that's just going from what we've seen on Earth, where all life is basically carbon based. As far as we can see, I mean, it's possible that it would be based on some other element, on the periodic table, or maybe even elements that we haven't seen. But the likelihood of it being carbon based, I think, is pretty high, given the diversity of forms of life on Earth and how it all basically boils down to that element. Ryan, you've been quiet.
Oh yeah. So I don't have a whole lot of opinions about aliens per se, unless it comes to our own history, kind of like what they cover on Ancient Aliens. I do believe aliens exist. I would say you can break down all of our radio signals based on mathematics, which is the language of the universe, and so they will actually be probably easily discernible for an advanced civilization that can receive them.
I think that's a fair point.
So, they don't need to speak English. They just need to break the signal down mathematically. So, and there's a universal coding to everything. So
They can translate math into English or into their own language.
I wouldn't see why not. Everything else does.
we can break down ancient civilizations into mathematics.
Or even the stars themselves operate on mathematic principles.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's one thing it's one of the things that recent generations, I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but recent generations seem to have trouble grasping, is that math is a constant.
Yep.
It is universal, and it is a constant, and it is what it is. Like we assign values to things to understand math, but like time, like various other forces of the universe, math is a thing that exists whether we will it to or not.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean that's how the what's his name from ancient Greece, Archimedes. What's the saying? Give me a fulcrum and a lever, and I can move the earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
give me a strong enough fulcrum and or a sturdy place to stand, I think, and a long enough lever.
Mm-hmm.
Close to it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that back in ancient Greece they could understand mathematics, and they've advanced it through theoretical physics, and even theoretical physics says that the probability of multiple universes and stuff like that, like the multiverse from like the MCU is very probable. and it's not the easiest way to eventually for human beings to move through space is not by going as fast, shooting our asses out of a rocket as fast as we can. It's actually skipping through holes between space and time. And that's how we'll ultimately transport ourselves to the other side of the universe. It's not going to be like Star Trek, to where it's like, warp 9, we're gone. It's not going to work that way. It'd still take too damn long. You can't traverse the galaxy that way.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. We're probably looking at more of a Tesseract thing, and I'm not talking MCU Tesseract. They borrowed that name from an actual principle.
Yeah, they did.
Which it's a little more complex than you see in movies and such, where they just take like a piece of paper and fold it together. Event Horizon did this. A bunch of other movies did this, and then they poke a pencil through it to simulate like the paper is the plane of space time, and the pencil is the traversal from point A to point B instantaneously. It's a little bit more mathematically complex than that, but basically, yeah, that's probably the best visual representation of such an idea. Madeleine L'Engle wrote a book in the 60s called A Wrinkle in Time, which very good, by the way. It's a children's book, but it touches on some of this stuff pretty well, and used that same metaphor, but in this case, it was an apron, and basically the same metaphor, but she had the idea that it wouldn't be something mechanical that would allow us to do it, but rather almost an evolutionary leap forward in how our own brains work, what we can do with that. The Tesseract is opened in your mind and not in, like say in Event Horizon with the spaceship, for example.
Yeah.
Depending on which conspiracy theory you listen to this week, that's already been done.
I could maybe it certainly hasn't been
by humans.
Yeah, there are people who've been claiming to have been able to do stuff like that for thousands of years.
There's a little bit more to that, though.
Hey, Keela.
NASA has actually admitted that yes, we kind of sort of know what we're talking about here. We just haven't been able to physically do it yet. And then there's people who are claiming, yeah, they're lying and they've actually done it. IXS Enterprise, literally, that's her name.
Oh, fair enough. Well, there's always been an Enterprise. I mean, there's been an Enterprise since the Dutch and British East India Trading Company. I mean, that name gets passed down through the ages.
But the claim is that the interplanet, or I forgot what IXS says. She's a faster than light starship that supposedly really does exist, and NASA says, yeah, well, no, we haven't built it yet. Well, yes, you did.
Maester Chow, welcome to the stream.
Hey,
long time no see. I still live. Despite popular belief, rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. I'm still here.
Yeah, good to see you, buddy. We are discussing the possibility of detecting alien civilizations at this point, given the vast distances and the amount of time that it takes to observe something that far away.
Right.
Because Carrie made an argument that even if you couldn't detect the civilization, that you could, in fact, detect the effects of that civilization.
In theory, yeah.
And I agree. I think he's got a point, but it kind of depends on how far out it is.
Right.
1978, I think, we sent a radio signal out in binary to try and see if we could find anybody listening in.
Yeah, it was it in the early 70s or the late 60s that they sent out the Voyager probes?
1977.
Yeah.
Was it 77? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Voyager 1 was 77.
Okay.
Well, I
think they sent two. They sent two, didn't they, in opposite directions?
Yeah.
Yes.
They sent two out.
It's not so much in opposite directions, but different trajectories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought one went north and one went south.
Yes and no.
The
Okay.
enemy gate is down.
Fair answer.
The enemy's gate is down.
Interesting
What?
reference, y'all.
Right, okay, I don't know what that means.
It has to do with zero G and finding your direction and disorientation.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much.
Like in space, there is no up or down, so you have to like.
Oh no,
orient
that's
yourself.
that's a good point. It's a very good point.
Well-
Yeah, there is no up or down. It's just the
In
orientation.
the galactic, in our solar plane, there's a zenith and a nadir. One is north and one is south, and that's as close to opposite directions as you can get because everything
Sure,
else
but
is just relative
Cherry,
to
if you're floating in a spaceship
something.
or in a spacesuit, by your onesie in the void,
Uh-huh.
it's all about your orientation.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's about your perception, unless you want to get like nauseous and go crazy from the fact that there is no up or down.
Well, it's also too why
I'm not going to beat myself up that far.
why astronauts over the decades have had to course correct to try to make sure that they come in on the right trajectory so they don't skip off the atmosphere, because there is no, there's, you have to angle yourself in space. You don't just, it doesn't work like it does here on this planet, which is cool that, as human beings we figured that out. Space has a whole new meaning. I mean, you can't hear in space. There's no sound. It's a vacuum. Like, it's not like you could yell and, so it just, yeah, it's wild to think, if you were to sneeze, let's say hypothetically, you could breathe in space. Like, if you sneezed, you'd go flying the other direction, from something
right.
so simple. So it's really cool, to be quite frank. I had a point though. Anyway, move on. I forgot my point. When I think of it, I'll bring it back up. I'm still getting orientated. After
It's down.
it was a wild night last night. Even though it was a short night, it was a long day. But man, we got into the weeds of some stuff, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Wieners
And this is
everywhere.
I
Wieners
understand this
everywhere.
is a bit of a for some of us this is a bit of a hard left turn as we normally dip a little bit more into politics or pop culture or something of that nature, but
Well,
yeah,
it is a little bit of a hard left turn, but at the same time, it's not a historical turn, because civilizations on this planet have been reporting things in the night sky for thousands of years. So it's not really, I mean, and I hate to give credit where credit is due, but I know that this always sounds bad when I bring it up, but I'm fascinated by the Nazis because they made some of the most advanced logical steps in the history of this of our planet. And it's wild, like, because they believed in life in other planets. They sent expeditions. They I'm sure everybody has heard of Die Glocke, the Nazi bell that supposedly it didn't go into outer space, but it moved between dimensions in space.
Yeah.
We don't know what the Glocke did, because
we have theories, based on broken and leftover notes, but I mean, there's a giant henge where supposedly it sat, and it looks like
that does exist. It's still there.
Yeah, it is still there. Isn't that wild? Something built in World War II still sits there.
Yeah. Well, do y'all remember what Werner von Braun said about his V2 rocket, right after the first successful test?
Mm-hmm.
Said the rocket performed perfectly. It just landed on the wrong planet.
Yep.
Well,
pretty much.
Yep.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Yep. He was Werner von Braun was the as I'm sure you are aware, Carrie, he was the main engineer behind their rocket technology. But while he was a literal rocket scientist, he wasn't interested in war. He was interested in what's out there.
Yeah.
He was interested in money. Let's not go crazy. He was
because
all scientists are interested in money. Let's call a spade. But
that's what funds their research. I mean, let's be honest. Elon Musk is the new Werner von Braun. Like, we'll most likely we will land on Mars because of Elon Musk and all the hard work of the scientists working with him that he's doing.
Yeah,
I have no doubt.
And he's interested in the money he can get from building the rockets to take people there.
Sure.
And that's appropriate. It's a good thing.
But I
But
think he
let's
is
not
also interested
look
in
at Terry
furthering
Moore
the reach of the human race.
or
Well,
survival.
I think also at the same time, one thing he's interested in is that, and I think a lot of even NASA and stuff like that, which is why they're working with SpaceX. Also, private organizations have always made government more efficient, because the best thing the government does is waste money. But that's another topic. Is that if by studying Mars, we can understand the fact that Mars used to have life on it. Mars used to be terrestrial, and we can try to figure out why
May
it's
have.
not in. There's been water found. It's pretty high probability. And we can actually even figure out how to terraform Mars. We can ultimately advance technology on this planet, which is
That would be
Yep.
the easy part.
yeah. We only got one home right now, and I think we're all kind of fond of it, whether you hug a tree or not. So it's like, yeah, I think these kind of advancements, but we would have to be naive to think that we're the only. Well, look at all the species on this planet.
That's exactly my law of averages dictates there must be life elsewhere.
There has to be, because I mean, there's still species on this planet. We're like, what the hell is that? And it's like, I don't know, never seen that. And if we're like, oh, new species.
Yeah. Chow cat.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm just listening at the moment.
It's funny. Samuel woke me up. I didn't have anything to say 20 minutes ago. Now I'm like, whoa, here we go.
Yeah, you bring up tree loving though, and I got a meme for that. I got a new one that I've been itching to share, and it's
Do you?
really, really hard to find a good context for this one. So I'm just gonna play it. Enjoy.
Okay.
There is nothing good about that.
Yeah, you texted me that one, you sick fuck.
That actually, it was another guy we know who texted us that, and I stole it.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Oh yeah, blame it on the other guy who's not here to defend himself.
Well,
Is
he'd
it
do the
Larry?
same. Trust me. No, it isn't actually.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't do online stuff. So,
Yeah,
and by that I
quiet.
mean he's kind of an otaku, but he doesn't like speak out online.
Right.
And I mean like old school otaku, like sits in a dark room collecting information for no real purpose.
You know what? I'll tell you what, man. Sometimes I think Thanos was right. More often than not.
Well,
Yeah.
Got a pretty good point. But yeah, in all honesty, it would just be so absolutely naive to think that we're the only intelligent species. Now, I'm not saying that they're right next door, anywhere from like 4 to 5,
We would know by now.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I do absolutely believe that they visit us, though, and I think they've probably become more interested ever since we dropped the atomic bomb.
they visit us and they lock their doors as they drive by. All right.
Well, yeah, because we're the species that dropped a nuclear bomb on itself.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, how
like
do we know
that-
they
the-
didn't do the same thing?
I mean, they could have. I don't know, but the dropping of two atomic weapons on this planet is going to send radioactive shockwaves into the universe that can be measured, and once it gets past the atmosphere, they won't stop.
Those were just the ones that were used as weapons. The rest, there were
Mhm.
hundreds of tests.
Oh yeah,
Well,
hundreds of tests.
Mm.
So no, they probably fly by here and they're like, it's
Nope.
like it's like if you drive through Chicago, you're like, what the hell's going on around here?
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't observe us, because who knows? There's theory that that they observe us because they don't want us to destroy each other.
Or they observe us because they're watching us like ants in a fucking terrarium, waiting for us to just eat each other. One of the two.
I mean,
That's
Both is good.
it's possible, but at the same time, if you have ants in a terrarium, do you really want them to eat each other?
Well,
Yes.
okay, fair
You
point.
want-
But honestly, look at it this way: do you honestly think that any spacefaring species, all right, with possible FTL travel, really gives a tuppeny fuck about a bunch of hairless apes that all they want to do is blow each other up and beat each other with sticks? Do you
Hey, Bernie.
really think they give that much of a shit about us? I say no.
I would say yes
Hey,
because
Bernie.
we
Hi,
don't
Bernie.
fit in on this planet. We're
We're a virus, is what we
We're-
are. We're a virus on this planet.
Wow.
we
I thought I was better.
we don't match on this planet. We're not well equipped. If you leave us out in the wilderness naked and afraid, so to speak, we're likely not going to survive. You know, we don't we just we're
If-
not adapt for any environment on this planet.
If you take away our tools, we are
Dead.
around the same area as cows on the predator list. Okay.
Mm.
That's how shitty the human race really is. The only advantage we have, the only thing that makes us a quote unquote apex predator is the fact that we have shit that we can use. All right.
Well, I think it's our brains is our greatest weapon. That's what
But
allows us to
there-
create the
I
tools.
think there are smarter things on this earth than people. I really do. And just because they don't have, the ability to smelt steel or the ability to use complex tools like we can, does not necessarily make them less intelligent. I just think they found a better way of living, honestly.
That's probably true, and I will guarantee you that if if like a lion had the ability to use a scoped sniper rifle, we'd be fucked.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
Oh, have you
I
guys
was thinking so long and thanks for all the fish.
Hmm.
yeah, I was waiting for that one.
Not in our raw form. No, we're not. We're adaptable because of the things we create.
Right.
And one of the biggest things that we have created that makes our life live longer is electricity.
Correct.
Yes.
But where do we get that electricity? Well, if you say wind and solar, I will personally reach through TCP/IP and kick you in the balls. Because coal is honestly the way to go. It is the cheapest, most effective way to get people energy for the lowest cost. Yes, while we will run out of
Hydrogen.
fossil fuels eventually, what we will be able to do is use that time to build better, nuclear plants to give us clean.
Hydrogen.
I'm more of a kite and key, direct current kind of guy.
Well, see, and what about human beings that makes us kind of an anomaly on this planet is we have unknown strands of DNA inside of our own genetic code that is not identifiable. It's not identifiable with anything else on this planet. And obviously we study and there's so much known about there's so much about our genetic code that is not known. There's so
Right.
much about our brain. We use it's like 5% of our brain.
Okay,
Something
so
like
that is a myth, all right? And take this from a student of anatomy and physiology. We actually wind up using 100% of our brain. It's just we access different areas of our brain at different times. We're never using 100% of our brain 100% of the time, but we do utilize 100% of our brain.
Okay, so it's like a computer processor activating different programs, but
Correct.
we still don't use 100% of our brain.
Not
Does
not
that- does that
100% of the time.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes, I have. It's been my brain.
oh wow, I'd be kind of intrigued to see my brain on a
It's
scan.
not the same thing.
Would you like a brain scan, sir? But there's still so much about this planet that we don't know ourselves, the depths of the ocean, the Arctic poles. I mean, even the depths of the rainforest. There's still stuff that we don't know. But as it stands, again, we are just such an anomaly on this planet. Like we like look at the African tribes. Like, yeah, they still have to live in huts, they still have to hunt with tools, and they're still lion fodder. Like
Right.
um,
You're not wrong.
So we're not equipped to survive in the snow without we can't internally regulate our heat like reptiles do, and then all of a sudden, they come back to life when it gets warm enough. It just we stick out like a sore thumb on this planet.
You're not wrong.
So
You're not wrong.
I kind of subscribe that we might be some weird experiment. I wouldn't be surprised.
So leaving out, for the moment anyway, in this part of the conversation, leaving out like say divine intervention. If you're talking like possibly extraterrestrial intervention, which actually, if you think about it, really, divine intervention is by definition extraterrestrial. But
I agree.
but like if you're talking more like you know, aliens came to Earth, found a primitive species, fucked with their DNA, and made them into something that they weren't before, kind of thing. Like maybe pyramids as landing pads, kind of thing. Eric von Doniken, I'm looking at you.
He's
Grifter, we're looking at you.
he's a little too much for my taste, Eric von Daniken. I like some of the other guys on the Ancient Aliens show. They seem to be a little
I don't
more
like
analytical. But the ones that go on like these weird tangents, and it's like super like tinfoil hat. I'm like, it's a little much.
I'll agree. Von Doniken's out there, but he's also fun.
He is fun. I mean, he's a crazy German guy, right?
Dutch, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know he's from.
I think he's from Holland. But
I take
yeah,
that back. I like the former British Ministry of Defense. What's his name? I forgot. I like him. He's the only one of them I would give two shits to. The rest of them can all go to hell. Well, that's my nice version.
The fact of the matter is, Carrie, is that this is all speculation. None of us know.
Well, yeah. But at least his speculation's not crazy. I'll burn my house down from the inside. I'm not going to take you with me.
All right.
Right.
I just I think that it's entirely possible that there was probably contact in the past. I don't know necessarily that it was like DNA altering, unless it was a whole prima nocta, breeding us out kind of thing.
Right.
Which is I suppose possible, but given that the statistical probability of an alien species being even remotely compatible, even with our distant ancestors, sexually speaking, is pretty freaking low. So I don't know that is necessarily the case, but
unless it's a popular model.
That's also true.
Do you know that reference? Tell me you know that reference.
Well, I was thinking more of what Terry Pratchett said about how all life is basically a tube with extra bits stuck on.
Oh, that sucks. It's actually a reference to a Mark Hamill movie. It's Time something. Not Time Cop. The hero of the story has to go back in time and put a quarter into a parking meter to save humanity. And when somebody says, "Wait a minute, you're an alien?" He says, "Yeah, but you look like a human." It's a popular model.
Yeah. That's fair, and that, and that may very well be the case. I want to dip a little bit into the religious aspect of it here, just because, look, if there is a creator, right? If there is an overarching creator who made all this stuff, if that's what this being is a creator, then this being must also still be creating.
Agreed.
In which case, there would have to be other forms of life out there. And if it was, it's possible dude's got a type, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, the presence of God or the presence of other life does not preclude the existence of God, but the absence of intelligent life proves the existence of God. Because it's a mathematical impossibility otherwise. Even I got 10 on the test.
But yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is that like there's a part in the Bible, for example, right? And you all know I'm not a Bible guy, but I have read the damn thing. Jesus dies, he's dead for 3 days, he comes back, he's resurrected, and then he books for a couple more days, and then comes back to Israel. When he comes back, his apostles ask him, his apostles ask him, "Where were you?" And he said, "I have other flocks to tend." Now, it's possible he was referring to other peoples on earth, but it's also possible, given the nature of a divine being, that it wasn't on earth he was referring to.
Mm-hmm.
which also
So
lends
Jesus
credence
just
to
outlived these aliens?
possibly. It's one interpretation of the text, yes. One
Well,
that I happen to think is plausible.
the Vatican says that the probability of aliens doesn't disprove anything in any way and fly in the face of God, and they probably have the largest ancient archive on this planet, other than what was the Library of Alexandria that was completely almost lost.
Sure.
Hmm.
Are you like taking off a leg there, Chow?
I think he did. Chow, are you still with us? Chow.
Speak to us! Won't go into the light!
He's gone into the light. It's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tales told in the dark. Welcome. Good to see you.
Wait, I'm Thug McCoy. I can save him.
Can you?
I don't
Chow,
know.
get your ass back in here.
What? Sorry, I was fucking with
See?
something. My bad.
It
Yeah.
worked!
Oh my God, he's right.
it did work. He brought you back with his words.
Hold on. Sorry, I was fucking with a 3D printer. What happened?
Nothing. Oh, we were just wondering. First of all, what that noise was, and second, what your
Oh.
your take on the Jesus possibly visiting other flocks in other worlds.
All right. So I'm going to actually minimize chat for just a minute here, because not for nothing, guys. I don't really give a fuck what chat has to say about this, because I'm going to talk about my opinion, and this is my opinion alone. Agree with it, disagree with it. I don't really give a fuck. This is my beliefs.
Yes.
So yes, I do believe that that Christ was tending other flocks. I do believe that we are not the only people that were created by the Almighty Creator. To be honest, it's one of those things that just because he was the savior of our world doesn't mean he wasn't the savior of other worlds. Whether you believe in Christ as savior or not, whatever, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. You do you, boo boo. I don't care. But I'm 100% certain that Christ is the savior of other worlds as well. That we are not the only one. That he wants to basically maximize the return of the children of God to heaven when all is said and done. And the best way to maximize that is to have many creations and many planets that he has quote unquote saved and given his life for. So agree with me, disagree with me, that's cool. I get it. But long story short, yes, I believe that for sure he has been to other worlds to save them as well.
Okay, I was just curious about that because, like, you and I had spoken about this before. This was something that my own mother had brought up to me. Is like during that period of time when he says, "I have other flocks to tend," which I believe is the direct quote. He was not at all specific.
Right.
No.
And he wasn't. And I think he was honestly deliberately ambiguous on that, because we need to have faith in something, whether it's faith in an almighty creator, whether it's faith in ourselves, whether it's faith in whatever the fuck you want to have faith in. We need to have faith. We need to believe in something. If it's yourself, cool. If it's a higher power, cool. Whatever it is, fine. I don't care what you believe, just believe it.
That's fair.
Um,
Kat, what do you think?
Chow.
I don't
Yes,
know.
McCoy.
Like I said, I want there to be aliens, but the problem is, like I said, it feels too cool, and cool stuff like that just doesn't happen in reality. As much as it makes sense, it makes logical sense. It actually makes sense. I just nothing that cool happens. Reality is boring.
So the universe operates even past mathematics, past
Yes.
even divine, not divine, and whatever. At the very basic fundamental level, the operating force is coolness factor.
Yes.
We're gonna go with yes.
Come on. Do you really think? Can you really see in your mind? Can you actually picture aliens?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I can.
Like, can you imagine the news suddenly just coming up and being like, "Yeah, we had aliens and it happened." It's too cool to be real.
Is
Sure,
it any
let-
different than a newscaster coming out and saying, "Today, a young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed into a slow vibration. That we are all of one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There's no such thing as death. Life is only a dream. We're the imagination of ourselves." Here's Tom with the weather.
R.I.P. Bill Hicks.
Another dead American hero.
He just quoted a very famous comedian from the 90s who is unfortunately no longer with us.
I got a question.
Yep.
Chow, you do realize that the question about Jesus tending other flocks, Samuel was referring to aliens, not
Yes.
human. Okay,
No,
all right.
no, I get that. I get
We're all
that.
on the same page
And,
still.
and I'm not saying that he presented looking like, we picture Christ however you picture Christ, or, the Prophet Muhammad, blessed be his name. Either way, however you picture the Savior, it fits whatever species they are saving, is all
Okay.
it comes down to.
I just wanted to make sure we were all still on the same page.
Oh yeah,
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay, good.
You know, Christ,
good.
Christ among the
Wait.
broccoli people of Venus.
Hey, wait! Don't discount that because
But that's it.
Hold
Hold up.
One of these days we can... Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. I would like to clarify what I said, what I meant by no when you asked if I could picture aliens. Yes, I can picture them, but only to the extent that my own experience allows me to formulate these images. Could I picture like I do believe that there are aliens out there. I do believe there are other civilizations. However, what they look like, what form they may take, I have no fucking idea. I mean, it's the very definition of alien. It may not be something I am even capable of understanding, or vice versa. We may not be something they're capable of understanding. So yes, when I can picture aliens in my head, but it's usually something that's fairly anthropocentric.
I want to interject something for just a second, because something in chat has popped up, and I'm sure you can see it, and I'm sure you know exactly what I'm about to say. But here goes Maester Chow's rant for the day. Yes, I do believe he was preaching to his church in North America, because no one says the only place he was in was the Middle East. He's the divine son of God. He can go basically wherever the fuck he wants. What does he do? Snap his fingers, boom, he's fucking there. Who says that only the Israelites or only the people in the Middle East were allowed to hear from Jesus? Who's to say that he couldn't travel across the oceans and preach to other people? Why is that such a hard thing to bend your brain around? I mean, fuck it. Why not? If we're talking metaphysical here, anything is possible metaphysically. Fucking Muhammad moved a mountain. All right. Why can't Jesus travel across an ocean?
Makes sense. If you believe in God and God's capable of anything, then
Precisely.
yeah, why not?
Great
Jesus.
We are horrible neighbors, Squatch.
We are horrible neighbors, Squatch. By the way, you should have the link if you haven't checked your email. Send him a couple
Sorry
of
for
emails.
ranting. I just had to get that off my chest, because that shit really grinds my gears.
No, fair enough. I was raised in that church, as you will know. So like I've heard that as well. And I don't see if Christ is in fact the literal divine son of a creating deity, then I don't see why that's outside the realm of possibility. I don't personally believe that he was, but if he was, then it follows that he should be able to like jump borders pretty quick.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, basically the guy can do whatever the hell he wants, because, well, he is the Son of God. Okay? He is part of the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Very Catholic of you.
You speak Latin?
I speak smatterings of Latin enough to get by.
We need to talk later. In the meantime, and believe it or not, Chow was really, really nice. I'd be cussing right now.
I wouldn't worry too much, but I mean, like, everybody's got their own beliefs, and we all have this. We can disagree all day long, but and as far as certain ongoing disagreements go, like things have been addressed privately, and that's as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of that. But
I know not what you speak, but I do not ask.
Yeah, it's totally cool. But my point is that I guess my overall point here in terms of the conversation was not necessarily to turn this into a religious debate, but to indicate that even one of the largest and most accepted religions on Earth might have a little evidence for alien life in it.
Or at very least has said, we don't know, and we aren't going to say no.
Exactly. And see, and that's what I wholeheartedly agree with. We don't know, but we're not saying that it's not true. Okay? We don't know. That's where faith comes in. That's where the belief in something that you have absolutely zero proof of comes in. Because with proof, it becomes knowledge. All right? It's not faith anymore. It's just straight up knowledge. So I prefer to live, with a nice balance between the two. I like having knowledge. I like having faith. There's a lot of things I believe in that I'll never be able to prove, but you know what? I'm sure as fuck believe in them anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. I speaking of things that are, I don't know how believable they are. Saw this this thing earlier today. Came out a couple days ago. Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership in our solar system possible. Like currently, like right now.
I would love
And this
that.
is the Pentagon? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're saying that there is an object that is moving. Apparently, it is not just moving according to the influence of other, celestial bodies, but under the influence of something else, like perhaps its own power.
Well, hold up. This is like the third time in my lifetime this has happened. So are we sure this time?
No, we are not sure. This is speculation on my part. This is one article that I found that, points to the possibility of it. I don't know if this is true. Somebody might be fucking with this. I don't even know how reliable this source is.
The only reason I take issue with this kind of stuff is because it comes from our government and they're like, oh, look, pretty this over here. Don't pay attention to that. Ignore that. Look at this. And people are so I don't know. I don't know if I could be I don't know.
I'm with you.
Welcome, Nomi.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hey,
Hi,
Nomi.
Nomi.
Hello.
Hi.
You
No,
haven't
I'm with-
met me, but I'm
Nice to
Maester
meet you.
Chow, and I am annoying as shit.
Yep. We got
Okay.
we got Carrie and Maester Chow with us today. Neither of whom you had met on stream yet, but
I'll
Carrie's-
apologize right away.
Okay. Well, thank
Carrie's
you for your...
Yeah,
Carrie's
yeah,
Carrie.
me too.
You call him Thug McCoy. He's an asshole, but he's our asshole. And Chow is the other main co-host.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm one of the OGs. I just work and life kind of get in the way from me popping in every week, so I try and join when I can.
Okay. Well, pleasure.
No,
to meet
he's
you.
just lazy.
Fuck you.
There's the taste.
Yep.
It only gets worse from here.
There's the brotherly
Welcome
love.
to hell.
It's all right. It's all right. If you're lucky, you'll see the beard later.
Yeah,
Cat can't get
taste,
enough of
Brian.
the beard.
You got your gay lover coming on?
Oh.
I want you. I need you. Oh baby. Oh baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
No, go show it again. Get the full effect.
You want to see the blue raspberry? You want it? I can put this on
It
like
does.
a 13-hour loop and
Easy.
upload this to YouTube if you want.
It's all right. I'm
Doesn't bother me one bit.
blood.
You know what? The other day you were on another stream. I can't remember which one it is because you do so damn many. But I think I want to say it was Vets talking, and you turned away for a second, and you did exactly that motion with your drink, which happened to be a bottle filled with liquid that same color.
And this is why I leave my camera off most of the time.
It's Gatorade Zero, man. It's delicious. It's refreshing for the soul.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is true. Carrie is the reason that Amir has a naughty corner.
We've got a squatch.
Squatch, good
Oh,
to
fuck
see you.
it.
Glad you made it.
You think I care that I'm in the naughty corner? I built that corner. I'm proud of it. And Squatch, go fuck yourself.
You are the naughty corner. Shut up.
I am the naughty corner. And Larry, get out of it. Hey, Squatch, how you doing, bro?
I'm alive.
I thought Kat would be especially pleased to come in, to see you here.
it's
Sexiest voice on the internet.
Oh, absolutely, definitely the sexiest voice on the internet.
Now I'm blushing.
The only person with a beard more magnificent than mine.
That's a fair point. It's a good beard.
That was gay as shit.
Some, well,
Hey.
you know,
I'm in love with
That's-
Squatch's beard, so we'll just leave it
Okay.
at that.
I didn't know the stream was going to be about talking about our feelings and our vulnerability to our beards or something.
It
I'm
really
not-
wasn't.
You know, it wasn't until Squatch showed up, and I just had to
this
gush for a
doesn't
minute.
threaten me in the least. I'm good with it. This
I
is-
mean,
Well, I'm still annoyed that according to Twitter, I should have a beard. Where's my beard, Twitter? Where's my beard?
Well, you got a beard. Oh
Yeah, see,
wow.
that's
Forgot about that one.
What?
I didn't.
Never mind.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all ain't right.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
What have
So,
y'all been into?
Good
What am
news.
I doing? What is going on?
not much, man. Hey, Nomi and Squatch, your thoughts on the possibility of extant life outside of our solar system?
Oh yeah, I believe that. Without a
Now,
doubt, I believe that.
how about with
Ladies
less
first.
sarcasm this time?
Oh,
I
It's clear to me.
I think it was more sarcastic. Like you'd have to be an idiot if you don't believe it.
Right? I mean,
That's an awful lot of empty space.
Fermi paradox be damned. You know, I think there has to be something out there. Otherwise, that is a great waste of space. And no, I'm not talking about Orion's belt.
Okay, Nomi?
No, I like to do. I grew up on a farm, so I love to go walking out onto the fields, like the canals and the ditches and everything at night, because you can see the stars. And I for sure have seen some orb floating around, not in a helicopter pattern, but like in a extraterrestrial ship type of thing. So I do believe there's something out there.
Honestly, I hope, beyond hope, that there is something out there. I hope someday we make contact with an alien civilization. However, we have to be careful because it could be like Columbus and the West Indies indigenous people.
I think
Yeah.
we've made contact and they are terrified. They
Yeah.
took
They-
one look at us and they said, these people have carnivores for pets. They took the most fearsome animal on earth and turned it into a house cat. They took the second most fearsome packing animal on earth and turned it into a lap dog.
Yeah,
And they're
see,
just chilling with them.
that's the thing is cats are God's perfect killing machines, but the problem is they weigh 8 pounds, so we keep picking them up and giving them kisses.
A tiger doesn't
I
weigh
do
8
that.
pounds.
A lion doesn't weigh 8 pounds.
A tiger will
Right,
eat your
right.
face. and
But I'm
have
talking about the
liver for lunch.
domesticated ones there, Mr. Squatch.
Okay.
Sir Squatch, even.
Pound for
your-
pound, you
your
are right. You are
squatchiness.
correct, though.
Yeah, the
Pound for
little
pound,
cats
you're
are
correct.
actually much more efficient killers
They are
than the big cats because they're so
By
flexible
far.
and so small.
by far. Yes, and the breadth of things they kill just for fun far exceeds that of any of the big cats.
Yeah. There's actually a gal I follow on Facebook that she rescues big cats and she goes in and gives them tummy rubs and scratchies and all sorts of stuff, and it is absolutely.
See, I want to do that. That sounds like
But-
fun to me.
I
This
want
is-
to pet the danger cat.
No, this is not
No.
confused with domestication. A cat will lay there and let you rub its belly and then will bite your hand and chew on it and claw it. Imagine if a 500-pound tiger does this to you. He's not trying to hurt you, but he just mauled you into 77 stitches.
The good Lord graced me with 2 hands. I can lose one, I guess.
That's why.
And that's why God gave me 2 hands, so I can hold one in one and the other.
Like there's a,
All right. Faith,
You know?
right into the lion's den. We're good.
Hey, if Daniel can do it, I can too.
yeah, exactly.
Wait, guys.
He only
Paula's
had the
right.
fear of God.
Well, you know.
Paula's right.
Yeah, we have Nancy Pelosi.
but
No, that's a
one.
bitch.
The last one?
Mm.
That one. He's right.
Fair point. You know, I mean, it
Yes.
it takes a certain kind of person to think that a god is their house pet.
well, I mean,
They're
look at it.
slavers, is what they are.
They
look
will
at it.
eat your eyeballs first if you die.
Yeah.
Very first thing, your eyeballs.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Like because they
Unless
they,
they're a tiger, then it's the buttocks.
they no longer recognize you as as
A provider.
Yeah, so they're going to eat
You're
your
still
ass.
providing, but it starts with your eyeballs.
I will eat your ass.
They probably think to themselves after you die and you're on the floor for like the past 3 days, they're like, this is their final gift, their final sacrifice to me, because I am their God, and I will gladly accept this gift of their body.
I disagree, Nomi. I'm gonna say that probably what they're thinking the whole time you're serving them like little cans of like processed cat food or whatever is like, how much more of this shit do I got to eat before the real meal starts?
I hear you, but you're looking at it all wrong. Cats look at the world.
Weird question. Anybody ever tried cat food?
Yes.
When I was really high, I did.
It's not great.
No, it isn't. It's not good.
I've had birds.
I think some people were doing that on YouTube, and they threw up. It was so bad.
So
well, I'm not saying eat a whole thing, but just like a little bit of a nibble, like what does this taste like? And it's just like,
I've been camping for a few weeks, but like cat food ain't that bad.
Well, the only reason I ask is one of my favorite franchises is Fallout, and you find like cans of like dog food all over the place, and it's like it's an edible,
and it's some of the best food in the game. Yeah,
and Walt Disney
franchise is Fake Out.
What I was going to say is like Walt Disney, when he started, he ate cat food because he was that poor when he was designing Mickey Mouse.
I did not know that. That's
wait a
wild.
second. Correct me if I'm wrong, but back then, cat food was canned lobster.
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah.
Now it's
just
like
it's processed
tuna.
pig dicks. It's like hot dogs, just worse.
It's all the parts of the pig penis that they wouldn't feed to humans.
It's the other red meat.
The other red meat.
Yeah.
Slightly pink meat.
I don't know. We've probably eaten a few pig penises. They just kind of scrape off the leftovers off the floor and make hot dogs.
I have a mountain.
They call those corn dogs.
You ever heard of Mountain Oyster story? Do you know what a mountain oyster
No.
Wait. We talking about Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yes, sir.
Like walnuts?
I know what they are.
Yes, sir.
Delicious.
So in this case, it's not bull nuts. In this case, it's goat nuts.
I've never had goat nuts before.
We go up to this cabin up in North Georgia for a while, and we're up there for about a month, and we find this place, and it has the best soul food you've ever had in your life. It is amazing, and they have this thing called the Seaman's Platter.
Okay.
One of my buddies ordered up the Seaman's Platter, and it's got basically, now I know what a mountain oyster is, and I understand there are no seamen on boats in the mountains. It's a euphemism, and I got it. And I didn't realize he didn't get it. And so he orders the Seaman's Platters, and it's goat nuts done in every way you could possibly imagine. They're poached, they're boiled, they're battered, they're fried, they're egg tempura, they're in curry, they're every possible way, little bitty. And I'm like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we get about halfway through the plate, and he goes, wait a second. What kind of seafood platter can you have in the mountains that they're all oval? And I was like, seafood? No, semen platter. He sat there for a minute and goes green. He makes the connection in his head. There's no oysters in the mountains, bud.
So
You're
why did it take him that
landlocked.
long to ask?
Yeah.
Speaking of somebody who lives near the Rocky Mountains,
half that plate. He ate half of it. He sat down with me, and because they're good, man. It's real good.
So I've lived near the Rocky Mountains, and I'm getting ready to move back. And speaking of somebody else who lives near the Rocky Mountains, have you tried the mountain oysters?
I fully endorse everyone.
She's not even saying anything. She's like, I'm not gonna
Look. There's a tiny little town. It's a ghost town now because nobody lives there. Hold up, Carrie. There's a town called Severance, Colorado. Where the only business that kept that town alive for decades was a Rocky Mountain oyster bar called Bruce's, and the sign on the entrance to town said, "Where the geese fly and the bulls cry."
Yeah, and then
men are men and sheep are scared.
God.
To answer Ryan's question, yes, I have.
Okay. I was just wondering.
It's a rite of passage in the high plains and the mountain areas.
Oh yeah, especially if you're in a mile high city,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're really mile high and you're hungry.
And they're not that. I mean, you deep fry them.
Yeah, I was
them,
pretty high.
They're not bad.
It's true.
A little gamey, but I was okay with it.
Well, they're nuts. What do you want?
Nuts.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's where all the game is. All of it.
Oh, you're not wrong.
You people need
I-
Jesus.
I'm curious. I would imagine, Kat, that the testicles of a pack animal would probably, or by pack animal I mean like work animal, would probably be considered haram, right?
I'm not entirely sure. I probably not. Actually.
If it's not, you definitely want to try some
Yeah.
goat penis.
I mean, I gotta check with my
awesome.
family, but my understanding is you can eat anything on the animal, so that's
You are
technically
trying
part
to
of it.
corrupt.
Are you sure they don't be writing it?
Oh wow, no, that's just for
Just
the
out of
guys.
curiosity.
That's just for the men.
Oh.
It's the men that are allowed to ride the sheep.
Oh my
No,
god.
I think you can eat anything, but I could.
So they're kind of like the Scotch.
Well, so that'd probably be coming from a more don't waste any part of the animal kind of because
Hold on. If we're talking about sheep, and if you've heard this before, don't give away the punchline. Hey, Squatch, why do Scotsmen wear kilts?
I don't know why.
Because a sheep can hear a zipper from a mile away.
Well, it's like why they bang the sheep on the edge of a cliff, so they push back harder.
Yeah, that's why they always wear those rubber boots so the sheep can't get away.
All right, we're making everybody sick, dude.
There are ladies on the stream. We might have to clean it up. It's
Definitely getting into my delicate sensibilities.
Kat made a terrible joke on the previous stream she was just on.
Oh,
Horny
I must-
Alpha's dipping out, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take off." And I forget. I don't remember if it was Dermy or if it was Green Rocks, but one of them said, "Yeah, you go chase some pussy because Alf, right?" And she goes, "Just stay away from mine."
Oh my God, you're turning all
Cat,
the
what's wrong with you?
I have a cat. What's the problem?
Yeah, Alf
I
hates
am
cats.
proud of you. You recognize the elf reference.
Of course, I recognize the Alf reference.
I have an Alf lunchbox.
That is cool.
I've been desperately searching for years for the thermos, and I can't find it anywhere.
Kat, I have a question. Did they meme you? Did they show you the memes they made of you, especially for the stream?
Yeah, they made. Well, I mean, the best part was the intro where they had Halo. They had me on Halo, which was awesome. But yeah, it was really cool.
Did they were any of them a little vicious?
Nah, I don't think they. I don't know. I don't think people usually at first go hard on me because they see the little Muslim woman in a headscarf and they think she's all sweet and innocent.
That's
And then they
fair.
have me
She
on one
starts
live
talking.
stream.
I've
Yeah,
seen
they start
that
talking and then they go,
hundreds
"Whoa!"
of imaginary people in a game all screaming, "Bring it at me! Bring it at me! You got nothing!"
We don't go hard on her because we're afraid.
I'm so scared.
Oh, well, yes, because I got 2 airplanes.
Yeah,
Aloha snack bar.
and I got multiple airplanes, and I got brothers.
Oh yeah.
And they have some very stylish vests.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's style.
What, the 9/11 joke wasn't too far, but that was.
Are we trying to get a strike tonight? Because I got something saved over here for bombing channels.
Hey, Squash, you got me on the channel. I'm the diversity
I'm
hire.
not a squash. I'm a
Sasquatch. Everyone can call you Squash. I'm just saying, you got me. So I'm like the diversity hire. So if anybody comes in here and wants to dock this channel down, you just go, "Are you being
It's obvious.
Islamophobic?" Because
It's
obviously
obvious
you
some
are.
kind of
Well,
phobia.
both Kat and I are the diversity here
Yeah.
because
Yeah, we
like
got-
she's a
There
Middle
you
Eastern Muslim girl. I am a
That's a
Hispanic.
good try. Good
Yeah.
try. And I appreciate the effort, but none of
We're
y'all.
both women too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Misogyny too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm literally an endangered species here. Like,
We got
That
an
mean-
alien on this panel, and
Oh,
you two
wow.
are the diversity hires?
Yeah, well, Larry couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Well,
we don't have the black guy because Amira's got him chained up in the basement.
But you have a brown girl.
Jen, what did you do this time?
An Arab, which is like the smallest.
mean,
like, think about it, less
it
than
could
1%.
be worse.
like 1% of the population in America is like Muslim, so I can be like, I'm the smallest minority on this whole thing, so I could be like, you're all just.
I don't know. I think even fewer of them are gingers.
Yeah, but
We got a
gingers
whole
have no
ginger
soul,
clan
so they
over here
don't
in
count.
Georgia. We got a whole ginger clan over here in Georgia. I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
I
and
am
you're like
on
all
my way.
Two families of gingers married each other and had a whole bevy of ginger children.
sure, but that's like all of the gingers.
So
Maybe.
during,
I don't know. I
during
see a
some-
lot of them.
during summertime, do they buy up all the sunscreen?
You
Yes,
can't try. They're all broke as shit, so they just burn.
yeah, 50,000.
Wow.
Or they can
So-
burn.
Aliens, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Aliens.
Hey, we got
Yes.
through almost an hour on the main topic before shit went off the rails this time. So I'm
Yeah.
Did we have the main topic? What was it? Was it aliens?
Alien.
it was
Aliens. Okay. Where are we at on that?
And then
Space
both
aliens.
Squatch and I came in and derailed the whole conversation.
Oh,
So-
it was probably headed
No,
that
we
way
were getting
soon
there.
anyway.
So what is everybody's take on anal probing?
I approve
Bro.
of it.
Ew, no, no,
It's consensual.
So,
no.
So all you
As
do-
long as the aliens and the person both consent, I don't have an issue with it.
you take a deep breath in, and when you feel a slight pressure, breathe out. It goes right in.
No, thank you.
I disagree. I say you clench up real tight and try to prevent entry.
Oh.
It feels better. that
Yeah,
way.
but
It's
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Usually that's Shadow's thing. Moving on.
Yeah, shadows editing, which I think is code for feeding the ducks.
Quack,
Mhm.
quack.
Moving on.
we can do that too. We can feed the ducks. I got feed the ducks music.
Oh my god, I was
Not right
my nephew is 14 and he takes extra long showers, and I was like, oh, he's feeding the ducks. My mom and her friend are like, what does that mean? I'm like, what motion do you make when you feed the ducks? They're like, ah, and I'm
You
like,
always said shooting dice.
Your mom can smack the shit out of you.
no, my mom actually is one of the reasons I have a dirty sense of humor. My mom and dad are pretty funny.
Yeah, if my mom and dad were to
Wait.
hear this, they'd be mortified.
When,
I
when
couldn't
my
imagine.
when I moved out and my sister moved out, my parents grew a sense of humor.
Well, yeah, that's what happens.
They got bigger potty mouth than I do sometimes.
Pretty sure Pops had his humor blown off in the war, man. I couldn't tell you. That man hasn't cracked a smile in 45 years that I'm aware of, with one exception, and that was when he accidentally handed me some meth on a tray. They rolled me a joint, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" He said, "A seed." And I said, "What do you grow? A crack tree?" And then I had to move out.
Hey, real quick, Boa, if there's no sign of intelligent life down here on Earth, then how would you know?
Well, I guess does
How would any of us know if there was or wasn't if we weren't intelligent?
does the pot know that the kettle is black? I guess is a good question.
That's racist.
Wait, that's very close to calling a spade, dude. You need to be careful. We keep
no.
doing that.
Holiday
If I
season.
can
wonder
utter
if
the
I
word
like
boy
now-
in my accent, it's racist as all get out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot Samuel's mom watches this stream.
That's all right. It's like we
Ooh.
already crossed that line.
Rubicon has
You
been
know how
reached.
close I am to changing my username right now, right, Sam?
What's that? Oh,
You know how
wait,
close I am.
she doesn't
Yeah.
care about that. That's not that. Oh, you don't go back to the other one though. Do not do that.
Yeah,
You do that,
that
I will
one.
boot you so fucking fast.
Squatch knows I can use that language.
What was the other one?
No, you can't. You do,
You know
but
what?
you shouldn't.
I will put it in the private chat, but I am not saying it out loud.
It's that bad, huh? Okay.
I went to read it.
Yeah, so do I.
Let me.
Okay, hurry up. 'cause
It
I'm
is
almost
my
done typing.
name.
I'm almost done typing, so hurry the fuck up.
It's like battle of the old men to see who types faster.
He's older than I am. Just putting that out there.
Fuck you.
Oh
Oh.
wow! You
Oh.
cannot
Yeah.
on YouTube.
No.
Oh,
There's
See
a
you later,
history to
channel.
that one.
so
What?
in
Pass.
in recent news, somebody pulled out a wiener on a stream.
That's true.
Oh, good.
And
That's
I
awesome.
actually witnessed it.
I did not.
I'm sorry.
I heard about it after the fact because I got about halfway through that fucking podcast, or about halfway through the first half hour of it, and I was like, "This is not good. I don't enjoy this. I'm going somewhere else."
Yeah.
I'll say this. My video has gotten a shitload of views. The one I put out last night.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I saw that earlier today. It's like, oh, he got some good views on that.
It's fucking.
I watched it and I thought it was some of your phrasing, man. I think was probably it has to be deliberate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you know, I realized I went pretty hard in on this,
Uh-huh,
for
uh-huh.
example, or
you think what I do is not on purpose?
the bit at the beginning where you said that's little dick energy. It was a good video. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I did.
You know what's
Now,
funny
what's
is
the script?
I don't script any of it. It's all off. It's all out
Good.
of the brain. So like that's why when I called him Gavin Newsom, that was an actual gaff, and I'm like I don't edit out my like huge mistakes. Like if it's like the camera is like screwed up or something, yeah, I'll restart it. But like little gaffs like that, no, I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
No, it was a good video. For those of you who do not know what we're talking about in chat and on panel, so Friday Night Tights last night invited, or they did not invite. He asked to be on the panel. Gavin McInnes, who is a well-known shit stirrer.
Why?
I don't fucking know. Probably just to stir some shit. He is on record multiple times talking about how things like pop culture, comic books, movies, collectibles, all that stuff is for children, and he has no respect for those grown adults who indulge in these kinds of things. He's said this publicly many times, and he still wanted to come on a panel whose focus is those things.
yeah,
And he came in swinging. He came in looking for a fight. And I think there were probably moments where they were having genuine conversation. But most of that time, no, he was fucking trolling the shit out of him.
He derailed
And a
all
couple
those
of them knew
conversations.
it.
Yeah.
I haven't even finished it because it was so hard to watch. Like it's actually makes me want to like pull my eyeballs off. He went pretty hard. Yeah. Not if you saw what it looked like. It was pretty soft to me.
Yeah, it did. And I was the one who broke it to Ryan. I was like, yeah, he pulled it out and he started like pissing on the desk.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, so one of my sisters runs a sex toy shop. It was not a real penis.
What's the chances that it's a deep fake? That it was just some dude trolling as Gavin Kites?
Pretty low.
Okay. Well, I've seen him before, and he's pretty low.
Yeah,
he doesn't usually go that hard. I don't know why he did that. Like he's been on Chrissy Mayer's stream before, and he's never acted like an ass to that extreme.
Good night, UA.
See ya.
Do you think Green Rocks would be opposed to us showing his clip of that?
No, because it's all got their tags in it, their logos.
All right. Let's see if I can find it.
I think the best one, I mean, yeah, No Green Rocks is good as well, but there's one that John Kokoza did, the photographer. And yeah, it's a good description of like what really happened. It was pretty bad. And yeah, but yeah, so when he first got on the stream and they were talking, like they tried to like convert the conversation to like, all right, now we're talking about this topic. And he just kept roasting the shit out of them. Don't get me wrong, like I like a good roasting of, making fun of people's hobbies, cultures, whatever, not cultures, but like hobbies.
Oh, come on.
But he
let it go.
kept going for it. That's where it killed me. Like, okay, you need to learn how to like take the social cue, shut up, and talk about the topics that they're going to talk about. And yeah, instantly I knew he was stepping on toes with the panel, and that's what kind of peeved me a little bit about that he was going for it, of asking deep questions and kind of shitting on divorced people and people who are dating and stuff like that. Like that's not his information to know at all.
No, agreed. Yeah, he was asking about he was asking about people's personal lives, and that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
No. And he was really trying to like deep dive, like trying to find a gotcha or something,
yeah.
And he immediately opened up with because Jeremy plays Fortnite, and he's like, isn't that like kids or something? He's like, are you like a little girl? Like, it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Like the fact that he went on it too, he's like, oh yeah, once I don't know if he said this or not, but like his balls dropped and he's like, I started getting pussy and stuff like that. I stopped being a kid. Like, good for you. But there's people who like are involved in this and this is their hobby.
Yeah.
You cannot shit on people on their personal fun.
Well, it's just a matter of etiquette. Like, you don't go onto somebody else's stream, especially if you asked to be on that stream
Yeah.
and pull shit like that and be rude and be disrespectful and just shit all over everything that they do there. If you ask to be on there, then act like
Be
a guest.
respectful. Yeah.
Like you don't have to be like, you don't have to agree with everything they say, but just don't be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think the reason why he pulled that stunt is because he realized like, cool, I'm not getting what I want and people are getting upset with me. I'm just gonna like burn it right now.
Oh
There
yeah,
you go. You
I
figured it out.
I agree. I think the chat was destroying him, and he got butt hurt, and he decided to be a punk.
Yeah.
You
So
finally understand, guys. That's what he's always been.
Yeah, I know that.
But the thing is, though, is that he knows Chrissy. So, like, why would he do that on a stream that she's constantly a part of? Like, because now Chrissy, if I were her, I'd. No, she does, because you could see her face, like she was mortified.
He doesn't.
No, I swear to God.
She didn't expect it. She didn't expect that to happen.
Well, even in the beginning, when he started calling people like little girls and stuff like that, she's like, what are you doing? Like, she had this look like, are you trying to start a fight?
There you
and
go.
that's what he was trying to do. And then, I know that's like his bit. Like, that's what he likes to go. Like, he goes off of that. But if you ask to be on a panel and you're a guest, like, be fucking respectful. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey Ryan, I can't find the thing. Do you have it?
I'll send it to you, Sam.
Yeah, I don't have that. Well, even what was funny is that I had a guy in my comments on the video, and he's like, dude, I agreed with you up until the point you brought Matt Walsh into it, and he's like, do you support the stuff the kids? And I'm like, that's not even what I'm talking about, dude. I'm talking about political commentators don't understand pop culture. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they stick their foot in their mouth constantly. Like, and it's like, my opinion, I love what Matt Walsh does, but he needs to do that over there where he's good at it. Stay away from this and stop saying, well, if you like to play video games, or what are you, a kid? It's no different than when Trump said, well, there's some of the reasons for all the pew-pews in the public is because of video games. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's because of loser parents. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spock, I see the one that you sent me. That's attached to a that's attached to a tweet of somebody who's I don't know if that one has been censored, so I'm gonna look through it real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you the one from No Green Rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it, Spock, but I can't show that one. That one's fully.
Yeah, I think Rox might have did the one that Chrissy shared that I shared.
Yeah,
the
the one that Chrissy shared is the one that No Green Rocks.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for because they blurred out the bad.
How bad was it?
Because the reason why you can't find it because Gary deleted the original tweet for Friday Night Tights because that's where you post all the memes for Legion of Memers. And since he deleted it, he had to he had to re-upload it for another thing. And then also I know Gary did a nooner today talking about it.
Yeah, and he was on Covercast last night talking about it with Brian Kennel too.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. If you guys have Twitter, go on Twitter and look up Wizinator.
I found it.
Sorry. It's hard. Yeah, go for it, Ryan, but it was just hard to like filter all this stuff out.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me refresh here. And Spock, I appreciate you being on top of that. I do. But again, that was the one that I can't actually show that on YouTube.
Yeah, because
same reason they pulled that stream down and pulled the thing.
Well, he pulled it down off of Rumble too, because you can't show that kind of stuff on Rumble, whether it's borderline or not.
Here,
okay.
Really?
Share my screen.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh, I waited too long to piss. It's already started. Oh, my God,
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry about this.
Look at Chrissy and X-Ray Girl, Odin, even Jeremy's like, dude, what the hell? Yeah, Gary's laughing. It's his stream because he's always said, hey, if if it's on me if something stupid happens. But yeah, it's like
Right. I think he's laughing though. I don't think that's like, funny laugh. I think it's like, holy shit, what just happened?
it's
Yeah.
possible. And Gary didn't have the stream up from
Yeah.
StreamYard, so he couldn't.
What
he
else
couldn't
is he
boot him.
supposed to do? It's done. It's already
And
happened.
there it is.
All you can do is recover.
Yeah.
Late now.
Wait, that was a fake one, right?
Yeah, it was fake.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
fake.
Okay, that was fake.
That was a Minecraft one. It was a
just
Minecraft.
pathetic.
It's just a Gavin gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. He had that made.
But it doesn't matter that it was fake. You know,
Yeah.
YouTube's not going to YouTube sees that shit. They
Yeah.
they're not going to consider it fake.
Yeah, and
No.
then on Gary's Nooner today, he was talking about, he's like, I'm not worried about it, but if I get an email, yeah, then I'll be worried about it. It's like the fact that he pulled that stunt on someone else's channel, knowing that this is Gary's livelihood, is,
Mhm.
Yeah.
he put some forethought into it.
Yeah,
There-
what's that thing?
So, I have a question.
Mhm.
What was the response? Did he end the stream immediately, or did
They
he
bo-
continue?
They-
streaming?
They
They
booted and then they ended very quickly.
Yeah,
Okay.
they booted him and they waited 30 minutes and then they realized, like, shoot, like this is on YouTube. We have to take it down. We have to edit it.
Right,
So
right.
they ended the stream early last night.
I downloaded it from
If it
Rumble.
happens to you, what you should do is immediately smile at the camera in the stream and take it down
No,
as soon as
I mean,
possible.
if it was something worse,
Download
like maybe the
it,
vagina.
whatever. But here's the thing. It will forever be there forever. Other people have already recorded it. It's in the Wayback Machine and everything. So the only thing you could do is damage control.
Right.
You have no control what someone else does on your stream, but you do control how much access people have to it.
Mhm. The internet is forever. That is true. But I think they handled it very well professionally.
Sure.
They laughed at it, but still, like, I think maybe internally, like, yeah.
I don't think they had
probably-
much of a choice but to laugh at it at that point.
Yeah.
Like that's like what you either laugh at it or you get pissed at it. Or you have some reaction to it, but there isn't much they could do. It's out there now.
Well,
Mhm.
you could see it all over Christy's face, like towards the end. He's like, because Ryan's like, no, that was fake, and she's like, oh yeah, she's like, that was definitely funny.
Yeah. I really like the fact that Ryan, it did
Yes.
not phase Ryan at all.
Oh, the amount of dick that guy's seen, he's in the Navy.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, there's a blip. Oh, look, there's a flower. Oh, look, there's a flying peas peeing all over the desk. Oh, look.
Yeah. He just, I don't think that would have. I think very little penis-wise phases Ryan.
I think he was more concerned with the wet on the electronics.
Yeah.
That's going to
You
leave a
did
stain.
what to your keyboard?
I mean, like I said,
had to pee on it.
if it was on Rumble only, I think there's room for wiggle because Rumble will say, okay, hey, that was fake. Don't do that again. But
Rumble's
YouTube,
got,
Yeah.
Rumble, you could probably talk to about that, but on first glance, now I don't know that they would necessarily be cool with it because, they've got a pretty hard no porn policy.
well, they pulled it off Rumble too. I downloaded the original off of Rumble before it got taken down because I wanted to see the raw footage. So it would
Just
The
had to see the
raw
wiener,
footage.
didn't you?
I had to see the wiener.
I saw that.
That was it's totally platonic wiener viewing. I
Well,
promise.
I
Yeah,
was, I was in
yes,
the military
totally
too, so
platonic.
I've seen a whole lot of dick.
Meat gazer.
Shower with you shower with like 30 dudes, man. You're gonna see a lot of penis. That's 6 months of penis.
You know, I want it just for the evidentiary value later. I'm not normal, but
Carrie's going to be the guy that identifies his body, walks up, nothing but a torso. Yep, that's him.
that's him.
You know,
Officer, arrest him.
in 2023, he was on a live stream and that got exposed. We have.
Oh
evidence.
my!
You got to get it right, dude. If you're going to do that, do it right. Oh my!
Oh God, I can't
do I look
stand
like
that.
First Decay? I don't sparkle.
Those
Sparkle
raining flaming wieners.
That would
know,
probably be
sight
worse
the
than
whole-
polyvinyl chloride.
Yep. Right, Chow.
And he's back.
Hey, he's back.
He's like, I don't want to talk about wieners anymore.
Bye.
Hey, you're what?
There's always time
you
to talk
blame him?
about wieners.
No, not at all.
Whose wiener do you want?
Okay, are you here or not?
Who keeps kicking me out?
I'm not. There's only
You
one.
can blame me, but it won't get you anywhere.
There's only 3 people.
Sorry
on
about
the
that,
panel.
Mike.
Oh no!
Fucking Lawrence.
Larry
You
did. It was Larry.
dick.
In the background.
Sorry about that. That
Fine,
wasn't on
fuck you
purpose.
guys. I'm leaving.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
So
Fuck
Larry,
you, shit,
Fuck
I'm
this
out.
shit. I'm out.
Amira unlocked the chains, huh?
No, she doesn't know I'm here.
Took the gimp mask off.
At
least we can hear you.
You're coming
think
home to
The
you're
way
coming
she
home to
puts
the
it,
whip.
Chow, it's more of a Kunta Kinte scenario than a like dominatrix kind of thing. So
I was lonelier than Kunta Kinte at a Merle Haggard concert. That night I walked into Uncle Limpy's Hump Palace looking for love.
I have a
That
quick
was
question
insane.
in the chat. Zalej says Andy supported Jack Murphy. Is that a real thing? Is that real?
I think there is something to that. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, I think so.
Well, I guess it's good. It's good that I put the beard on him for the thumbnail because
You are not the only one, man. He got hit with that beard up and down the fucking internet.
Oh, I know.
Probably got hit with that beard up and down dick. Wait, sorry.
Well, with that beard, automatically means your butthole attracts dick. It may not go in, but it's
I
adjacent.
beg to differ, sir. My beard does not attract dick.
No, the Jack Murphy beard. That's the other one.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's why he's got all that white in there. That's actually
Pretty
not
sure mine
gray.
do.
That's cum.
I haven't paid for a drink at a bar in years.
That's
Guys
because you
buy
steal
them
them.
for me. No, guys just buy them for me. I just let them.
That's because it's
They-
the Squatch.
And
They
then
buy
what
'em
kind
for
of
you
bars
for
are you
free.
going to? Are these men?
That
interested
might
in
have
you?
something to do with it. She's a
It might
quick
have
one.
anything to do
Shark.
with it.
Watch her, fellas. She'll
It
get you.
might be called the toolbox, but we're not saying anything.
Right down the road from the airport, right between the bus terminals. You know the one I'm talking about.
They walk up like Jack Murphy, and he's like, "Yeah, we buy a drink. I got something I want to show you."
Like I think I got like 317. What's that? Like 69 tokens?
69 for 69 comes out to $3 and like 61 cents.
About
Yeah.
250.
So literally,
$3.50.
so yeah, literally
$3.50. Get it right.
69 for
What? You gave the Loch Ness
$3.60.
Monster 350?
Wow.
Oh,
What the Loch Ness Monster?
Wow. I haven't talked about this guy in a while. It keeps popping up with all these idiots. Like the Jack Murphy thing just won't go away. Tim Pool, Eliza Blue,
Oh,
Shane.
he's part of the culture now. He's
Yeah.
part of the lore.
Yeah, Shane Cashman, now Gavin McInnes, like he just like the Jack Murphy beard lives on with these idiots.
Wait,
Like-
it's telling, I think, though, that I haven't really heard anything about Gavin McInnes except in passing conversation since the Proud Boys were in the spotlight for a fucking year, a couple years ago.
I've
Right.
never heard the name.
You're not
It-
missing
Oh, what?
anything.
Isn't it always weird too? It's with like so-called political commentators.
Mhm.
But they keep like getting the Jack Murphy beard. They get that like they have that meltdown. It's like, what about political commentary makes you melt down so bad?
Yeah,
You become invested in the opinion. It becomes a us versus them thing. I've seen it happen to friends and family. They decide that this is the tribe I'm with against all evidence. Whatever contrary evidence pops up just makes them angry. It doesn't make them logical. They become more emotionally invested, and it's just a self-feeding schism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zillage, he is that Gavin.
Yep. And him and his 1920s handlebar mustache looking like he's coming out of the talkie.
No,
That big pretentious douche stash.
he's a hipster, or at least that's the character that he plays all the
He's
time.
a fucking homo. That's what he is. That
That's-
dude fucking takes more dick in the ass than probably, well, not Jack Murphy, but close. He was throwing around way too much. I slept with a woman, then I stopped playing video games. And it's like, dude, like, is that not your real dick? Because that's some small dick energy. And that's why I led with that. Like, that was on purpose.
I got a real you can't handle both inches kind of vibe from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both things.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then even Jeremy like called him out. It's like
Good dude.
Jeremy
Like
called
a
him out
buck
saying
gerbil
like
in the middle of winter.
if
Go ahead. No.
Jeremy was saying is like if I had a dick that small, I'd go to the doctor because I'd be concerned.
Not wrong.
Times.
Yeah. No, I had a buddy years ago who used to, when he was hitting on chicks, and this was before Tinder was a thing, and trying to talk him into sleeping with him, he'd tell him things like, "You can't handle both inches," because then they'd be pleasantly surprised.
Or
Well,
revolted, but
well, yeah, I guess. I mean, but I guess
Honestly.
I think it would go over better in today's world because there's so much of a lack of sense of humor that, like, I think people are refreshed. when
Oh
they
yeah,
see
this was
somebody-
this was 20 years ago. I
Yeah,
mean,
so people had a sense of humor then. Now everybody's
yeah,
like,
and he's since joined the Navy, so whatever. But
you go to the
He's
army to
in
hide
the
it, and you go to the
Navy.
Navy to prove it.
well, if he only had 2 inches, trust me, the Navy boys made fun of him.
so I don't believe that was actually the case. He would just say that as a sort of a soft sell so that they'd expect to see,
I'd-
like, itty bitty micro penis, and as it turns
Uh-huh.
out, no, it's just a
Had a
little
buddy
bit
of
below
mine.
average. So
The
it's
whole
better.
game that he run the whole time was what was it? Hung like an angry mosquito.
Yeah, that was
Think is
good.
what
I
he said,
prefer hung like a buck gerbil in the middle of winter. I have an inverted penis.
right?
I have a feeling that
Knobs.
the ladies are so thrilled about the penis conversation.
I mean, I'm engaging in this conversation. I don't know about Kat over here.
I'm
Kat,
engaging
thinking about this one.
my Tucker.
Fuck is that?
Hey, come on, Tucker's been cool this week.
It's his dick pic.
Yeah, it's a big black dick pic.
We got issues. We need.
Well,
Can I
we,
get-
we
Here,
can't always show Cat Maester Cow's magnificent beard, so just
When I
saying.
get drunk, I send people pictures of Richard Nixon.
Yeah, that's good.
I feel a jowl movement coming on.
God,
I am not a crook.
we are
Yeah.
past God here.
We're
Besides,
what
I
now?
mean, come on, Tucker's been a meal man this last week. You gotta say,
You know what, Kat? I will
No idea
say
what you're
that what Tucker is involved in currently, I'm all for, but I also, the only people who were acting surprised by this were people who weren't paying attention for the last few
Oh.
fucking years.
Controlled.
oh yeah, no, none of this. I mean, even the stuff.
That
with-
would be me.
There's a
I
lot
have
of
no
stuff.
idea what you're talking about.
Tucker leaking. He was sent all the January
A6
6th footage, and he showed that the QAnon shaman was being led throughout the Capitol building, and police were actually opening doors for him.
Escorted, you might say.
Yeah, he was being escorted.
Nice.
He was giving the guided tour.
Yeah,
Literally,
you can literally see
tops,
him
like,
like within feet of 9 different cops
taking
at one point.
selfies and stuff.
They were giving
Yeah.
him warm towels to wipe his hands.
He walks into the building at one point. He's like, give God, thank God for giving these police officers the insight to let us in. Basically, he's
Yeah.
literally saying that. Yeah,
And I'm reasonably certain there's 1 or 2 points in that footage where he stops to ask them questions about a particular artifact or something that's in the building, and they just chat with him about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tour.
Holy shit.
It was a
Yeah.
tour.
yeah.
You know, this man's in prison.
Yeah, and he's going to
Yeah.
stay there because he took a plea deal and he
I
fucked
know
himself.
he shouldn't have taken a plea deal because
Yeah, the
yeah.
only way I can think
Well-
that he would get out is if either a presidential pardon or I think the Supreme Court has the option to take up a certain number of cases a year, but they would have to directly go for him and no one would touch it with a 10th
Yeah,
of it.
they absolutely won't do that. And right now, presidential pardons out of it. I think his term is 4 years. No,
Yeah. It's almost
no
4 years.
ifs,
It's
ands, or
41
buts.
months.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Hell,
Yeah.
he deserves 4 years for taking a plea deal.
Should have never
Yeah.
went in the damn building. Like, come on, man. Like, don't be
Well,
stupid.
Dress like that,
Oh,
face
man.
paint. You're just a target for them to just.
I
dump
don't
shit on.
disagree that whole thing was a clusterfuck. Like it just was. Like they
Yes.
should not have gone in the building, but at the same time, but only from this is given the people who want to set you up the ammo to set you up as U.S. citizens.
I
That
told
building
everyone to
is the
stay
property of all U.S. citizens. They had every fucking right to be in that building.
In the weeks leading up to it, I told everyone, I said, look, this is an obvious set
Stay
job.
away.
Stay
Yeah.
away. Don't go anywhere near
Yep.
DC on January 6th. Y'all stay as far because that place will be crawling with federales. Crawling.
Squatch.
I mean, how many of us?
Squatch.
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry.
Did
Oh,
I not say that during one of my live streams?
Nope, you didn't.
Never, not once. I'm with
No,
him.
No, but on top of that,
Yes, I
Tucker,
did.
they're threatening Tucker Carlson. They're like, what's ridiculous is they're like, Fox needs to censor and not let Tucker on. And it's like, he hasn't stopped.
What in
Yeah,
the
they're trying to
hell?
get Fox to fire Tucker Carlson for releasing that stuff. Mitch McConnell, before he took his little spill, flat out came out and said, "No, we need to shut this shit down."
Like, what in the hell? What
It's-
country are we living in where our politicians are actively calling for the censorship of the media?
Welcome to your new banana republic where the votes are completely purchased and no one knows what's going on.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see the interview with the shaman's lawyer, where the lawyer told him that he had no idea that that footage existed, and that they had actually put in a proper request for them to get all the footage of his client, the shaman, and up until the point that Tucker released it, they had no idea that that footage was there. So the government intentionally left uh, left that footage out.
Yeah.
So he had no idea.
Well, if they left that out of Discovery, that should be grounds for, reversal right there.
That's what his lawyer was saying.
That should be grounds for an appeal right there. I mean, obviously, it would have been a mistrial had it been found, but it should be grounds for an immediate appeal.
Mhm.
Also,
without question.
It was a plea agreement obtained under false pretenses.
Mm-hmm.
He can revoke that at any time.
Yeah, it's a false contract. So
Yeah.
I mean, it needs to be challenged immediately.
I agree. Who's going to do it?
How about 6 months ago?
Who's
A
going
year
to
ago?
step up and do it?
Oh,
Who with any real pull? Who with the ability to do so
I've
is
got
gonna
to
step
pick
up
up
and
my
do it?
kids tomorrow, and I can't exactly show up on time if I'm going to be the one doing it. So maybe somebody else ought to do it.
Well, trespassing is a goddamn misdemeanor. Like,
Mhm.
what are you talking about? You locked that man up for how fucking long? 26 months before he got a fair trial? Is that not cruel and unusual punishment?
There's still people locked up who haven't
There's
even
still
got-
people. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
insane.
A number of whom have not actually been officially charged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're just-
Meanwhile, there's people that are clearly on camera breaking the windows and committing crimes, and not one of them is in prison.
Mm-mm.
Especially that little Jaden X.
What was that? You got a little staticky.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the self censorship because I'll do it every once in a while too. I'll like bleep myself because you don't want to say the F word or something. But anyway, it's just-
No, it's
it's-
a lot worse than that.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it is. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that we have politicians who are literally holding political prisoners.
I saw on somebody I follow on Twitter who's pretty concerned with funding public schools, or rather defunding public schools altogether. Al of Athena, she does a YouTube thing too. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Anyway, and she was talking about how if law fails in this country, we're done. And she's actively looking at other countries to move to. And I'm looking at that and I'm just like, there's nowhere else to go. This country falls, everybody else is already fucked.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
obviously, look what Schumer and McConnell just did. They literally parroted the same thing. So, that whole uniparty thing, gee whiz. Who are they getting paid by?
I mean,
Freedom of the press is bad. We don't want this. It's a danger to our democracy. We don't have a democracy.
no,
it's
representative
frightening.
republic.
Yeah,
Well,
where are you going to go? Where are you
Yeah.
going to go? Are you going to go to Mexico, where you got the cartels pressuring the president to, get the CIA to back off,
Yeah.
so that they don't interrupt business? Or you're going to go to Canada, where they'll fucking they'll euthanize you for a paper cut?
No, go ahead. I know that you only have limited things you can say on this due to
Yeah.
locale. So I wanted you to jump in when you can.
Yeah, I'll do my best because I got a lot of things to say as a woman. But no, I was listening to Gary's Nooner today, and someone was saying that the CIA is paying woke Hollywood to do this, to change everything in the woke, change the industry of entertainment, indoctrinize everybody, so people can create these conspiracy theories, kind of like what we're doing right now. And it's just like, it's a distraction of what they're actually doing here in the United States to keep us busy.
Well, the CIA invented the term conspiracy theory.
Yep.
And if you want to know how far back the CIA goes with Disney, the CIA helped Disney purchase the giant Manhattan-sized plot of land in Florida. They are on the official documents.
They go way before that.
Yeah, if I recall, they also helped depose Walt himself.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, absolutely not.
There's a you can find it on YouTube. There's a video recording of his I think it was in 1947 deposition in front of Congress about communism. And he came out and he said some very specific stuff about communism and what he feared they were going to do and how they were going to take over and that they were a cancer, in a great society. And he was very, very specific and very eloquent about it. And he made, and this was after he had started making enemies among the communists. And they had sworn that they were not only going to destroy him, but destroy his good name. And look at Disney today. They've succeeded. They have not only destroyed his good name, they have not only taken
your
him
robot.
as,
You came in and out, Neil.
You're a robot, man.
The big has now
better.
Sounds better.
I hear you guys.
There
guys.
you go.
It's because we have good internet. I'm just kidding.
I think that was probably a mic issue, but they labeled him a Nazi sympathizer. They labeled him, all kinds of stuff like that. To this day, hold up, Carrie. To this day, you go out and you ask any random person on the street, and they will say, "Yeah, I think I heard he had something to do with the Nazis." To this day, and the only proof of that, if you go back, the only proof is that his enemies said so. That is the only proof. And so that's where it started. And then they took over his company. And now they pump out all of this propagandist garbage that they call children's entertainment.
I tried to watch one every day.
Yeah, they have not only destroyed his name and his legacy, but they have inverted it into a tool to serve their cause.
Well, I mean, I literally had I literally had a friend who I was friends with for, let's see, almost a decade. Yeah, almost a decade. Say that because of the place that they're in their life right now, they're dealing with issues, and they really hope that I find peace about my racist, sexist, and continued homophobia. And I'm like, what? I'm like, have you watched a video I've ever done?
Did you meet my family?
Yeah.
That's
I'm all about live and let live, but when you start screwing with kids, maybe we should say, hey. Or maybe instead of saying, this is my favorite one too. Well, why do you care that they changed Tinkerbell to black? Because she's not black. And it's like, I'll ask you a better question. I'll take your question and just slightly rephrase it. Why did Disney care so much to swap the character? They did it first. I just noticed and said, what the hell?
Yeah, real quick, Boa, that makes no difference. It really doesn't. National Socialists and Bolshevik Marxists hate each other's guts. Yes, they're both they're both socialists. They're both forms of socialism. They can't stand each other.
Yeah, it's actually not relevant. Walt was a great uncle of mine.
Really?
Mama Carrie. Yes, Mama Carrie. My grandmother's sister was married to Walt's wife. No, it was sister to Walt's wife. Fuck! I lost it. Anyway, he's like a second or third uncle. Walt was not a Nazi. Who was saying that? But we'll come back to that in a minute. And he did. I know what family legend is. He did so much for the OSS that he legitimately deserves a Medal of Honor. And you're telling me that now he's been accused of being a communist and a Nazi sympathizer?
He was not accused of being a communist. He was accused by communists of being a Nazi sympathizer.
Okay, great.
Decades and decades and decades ago.
Well, because one of the big things back in after World War II is that the next big threat was being a communist and stuff like that. And so like they were legitimately finding communists around every corner. And of course, obviously, the
Yeah.
the CCP has been sending their kids to our universities for years, and then turn around and taking them back and saying, "Well, what'd you learn?" And of course, they bring their crap over here and dump it, and that's why the university system's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And promotes the most insane ideologies. Real quick though, Logical Spock. Yes, I have seen that. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, I've seen that documentary. That one is awesome. Out of the Shadows, good watch.
Okay, Walt is being accused of having been a Nazi. Are you? Is this real?
Many. Yes, it's real. Many
Holy
decades ago.
flying-
Hold up, Carrie. Yeah, I don't think you quite get the scope of this. All right, they started doing this shit to him in the early 40s.
I guess
And they all they did was they went up to people and they were like, "Hey, did you hear that Walt might have some Nazi sympathies?" And they spread that rumor and they repeated it and they repeated it and they repeated it until now. If you go out and you ask the average person on the street who has any idea who Walt Disney is, now granted, a lot of young people don't, but if
They'll
they
say-
knew who he is, they'll say, "Oh yeah, he was definitely down with the Nazis," because this rumor has been perpetuated for 80 goddamn years.
Yeah, though I don't know if they'll say Nazi, but they'll definitely say anti-Semitic. I've heard that more than the actual
Yeah, I've
term
heard
Nazi.
that
Yeah,
too.
anti-Semitic.
Which he wasn't.
He actually got American spies out of Japan by disguising them as Japanese. Now, I don't know if he was literally there himself. He sent people to Japan to get American spies out of Japan during World War II, and people are calling him a Nazi?
Yes.
Are you insane?
His
You
enemies
people are-
who are
No,
communists.
by the time I got back.
I don't mean
Yeah.
you guys.
Well,
you
you
I mean, his
also
accusers are fucking retarded and insane. And
They aren't. They aren't either of those things. They're not retarded or insane. This was a calculated maneuver to destroy the man's reputation.
It was all a
Because
game.
at the time, anyone who was associated with the Nazis was clearly a bad person. This is how they ran him out of his own company. This is how they have sullied his name down the ages. This is why people think he was, against Jews. He wasn't at all.
it's
But
also
due to
But he does
psychological
eat
warfare
small
and
children,
propaganda
right?
from his enemies, who were communists, who were trying to take over what he has, and has successfully taken over what he had. I mean, just look at Disney today. Look at Hollywood today. It was
not.
successful. It was neither insane nor stupid. They were very smart about what they did. Now, current communists, I would argue, are retarded. But
well, who's been better at international espionage than the KGB? Like literally, they wrote the book on how to destabilize a country from within, and they've been using that on us for decades.
Yuri
And-
Bezmenov? Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, Yuri Bezmenov, and you best be fucking honest that we learned something from them. So why would the CIA not turn that on us? It's like, oh, don't look at the Japanese in the internment camps where we wrongly imprisoned them because that's a little too close to a those awful places like Auschwitz, but pay attention to all the commies over here. Oh, Walt Disney's is a Nazi. Like, oh no, like it's always the sleight of hand. Like, look over here. There's commies, and it's like, oh, what else? You're like looking at, the one person's over here, like going, do you guys fucking see that? They're like, no, look at all the communists.
I think that you're saying that the mainstream. No, I don't think they're that dumb because they're, even if we are smart enough to know better, they are corrupting the kids. So, the majority, as much as we are fighting back against this, there are a lot of kids who are seeing this. We're going to grow up and then they're going to pass it on. So they're playing the very, very long game. So, yeah, we think we're standing up and we're fighting something, but who is not watching the trash? How many parents turn on Disney and just leave it for their kids and don't realize what is going on? How many parents turn on these woke shows and don't realize what's going on and how it's corrupting their kids? And
most
so
of
then
them, I'd wager.
yeah. So while the majority of the people aren't us, so they are slowly winning.
Yeah.
No matter how much money Disney loses now, their goal is to have this next generation and the generation after that completely engulfed in their woke cult.
Yeah, I was a nanny for a family, and hold on, just ignoring a phone call. But I was a nanny for a family, and the mom and dad were out of town. I was taking care of the kids, and that movie Turning Red came out, and I was like, yeah, let's watch it. Even though I've heard some reviews, but like that's just everybody's say. Let me just watch it. Like 10 minutes into it, it's like, all right, kids, I'm not going to watch this. Like, I do not like this movie. And these I love these kids deeply. They were upset that we didn't finish watching the movie.
How old were they?
Let's see, 10 and 8. 10 and
Okay.
8. So they came, like mom and dad came back.
They got those malleable brains.
Yeah, and then they told their parents like, "Hey, like she didn't finish watching the movie." And the parents love me. They're gonna take my word for it. And I told them like, "Hey, like do your due diligence." But me, as an adult, I did not like it. I didn't like that the girl had a sassy ass attitude towards her mom. And I don't want your daughter to develop this personality against you. And then they're like, okay, we'll take your word for it. And she watched the movie later in the week and she texted me saying, thank you so much for stopping watching my kids, have my kids watch this movie. Like I realized like how awful it is. Because she didn't want her daughter to develop these bad habits and this mindset. Like I can do whatever I want because I am this, that. And that's an awful, nasty personality trait.
And it's only gotten worse with the Proud family because the vice president of anime, I can't remember what she's the vice president of, but she's an idiot. She's the one who admitted on Zoom call that inside the magic, the behind the scenes meeting that an employee leaked of where she literally said, I have a not so gay agenda and nobody has stopped me. And she is the biggest showrunner for the Proud family, louder and prouder.
Mm-hmm.
And
go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and we see how that worked out.
Yeah.
With slaves built this country.
God, that's so annoying. But like I remember when the Proud Family was on Disney Channel, like when I was still like high school, middle school, I actually enjoyed it because it was good writing. My parents liked it. I remember there was one episode where her and her dad go on this church outreach camping trip, whatever. And Penny, if I remember that was her name, she had this huge crush of a guy in their church, and she like, oh, like he gave me a jacket, he held my hand, made sure I was gonna fall over, and like, those are like good traits for a girl to like, yeah, this guy has a crush on me. But like it later was revealed like, oh, I gave you this jacket because I thought it belonged to you. Oh, like I only held your hand because I honestly thought that you weren't going to be balancing yourself and I didn't want you to fall. And he told her like, I don't have this interest in you. I don't see you as that. I see you as a friend. And she was brokenhearted, but her dad comes and consoles her and tells her like, it's okay because there's other guys like that's going to see you valuable. See, that was good content. Like, yeah, people can be whatever faith. They don't have to be Christian. They don't have to be whatever. But it was good morals that the dad stepped up and told her it was going to be okay.
It's rare that they even show dads in a positive and competent light anymore. But this all goes back to what when we had touched on, like, with McInnes and with certain other pundits who had been ignoring the pop culture. This is why you don't ignore it. This is why you pay attention to it. This is why you gatekeep and safeguard it, because they aren't going after adults. The adults with all the toys and stuff, those are not the targets. Targets are those adults' kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because parents have a hard time. Parents have a hard time telling their kids no, because they're your kids and you want to love them and you want them to have a better childhood than you did. But now we've stepped into the territory of they're screwing with your kids from day one.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that was part of why, like the McInnes thing rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't even watch that far into that fucking FNT because I was just like sitting there. I was like, this guy doesn't take any of this shit seriously. And that's fine if he doesn't think it's a serious thing, but he should take the impact that it has on the next generation and the generation after that very fucking seriously. Because they're going to be the ones to decide whether he goes into an old folks home or he's recycled.
There's two ways this can go. There's two sides to this issue. One side breeds naturally. The other side has to indoctrinate your children in order to increase their influence.
And I do hate the whole movement of like, kids are the future. Yes, I do agree that kids are the future, but don't indoctrinate them that just yet of like your ideology. Mm-hmm. Like everybody has a free will to learn anything.
Oh, there's that old saying, Democrats don't have kids, they have your kids.
But that's why I don't. There, people keep talking about how Disney's losing money. It's because they're playing the long game. They know that these kids that a lot of them parents are busy. They don't have time to. I mean, if you hadn't watched that movie, the mother would not have seen it. She would not have known. They don't. They don't take the time. They're not parenting, even when they aren't busy working. They aren't parenting. They're busy doing other stuff and leaving their kids in front of a screen. So then these kids are going to grow up thinking that this stuff is the norm, and then they're going to. And so it's going to be what they even if they're 5 or 6, when they're 10, when they're 15, they're going to want more of this woke stuff. So they know they're losing money now because they're playing the very long game where they're going to completely mess with the next generation, and we are going to die out. And
Well, why do you think that our government keeps bailing out Hollywood? You think they would let the cancerous tumor die, right?
Yeah.
It's a money pit, but yet the recession, the coup, we've bailed them out twice now. There's probably another record before I was born where we probably bailed them out. Why do we keep bailing out these failed ventures? Because they do what these weirdos want.
Yep.
And they believe in the same thing because they believe, well, we're up here, guys. Our politicians think they're royalty. Look at AOC going to the Met Gala. So glamorous, so lovely. And it's like, dude, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a pretty big, juicy booty.
And then what?
Well, yeah, I don't get me
Got
wrong.
cleaned up the
Well,
dunk.
going off what Ryan's saying, like I just saw that Zelensky is denied to go to the Oscars. Like, we're tired of the bullshit of the political thing. Like, you're not an actor.
Yeah,
Why do you think you deserve to go and get an award for what, a participation trophy of like best actor of making the fakest war ever? Like,
But-
maybe, but
Didn't
That's
Sean
real
Penn already
life.
give him one? Didn't he
Yeah.
give him like an
it was a
Oscar?
but it was a participation trophy. He gave it to him. He's like, hey, like I feel so sorry. Here, take mine.
You know how many
Or
fucking
what?
how many goddamn actors have went to fucking Ukraine and taken pictures with this ass clown? I'm like, and not one of them has been bombed yet. Not one of them has come back and been like, oh my
Closest
God.
that came to was Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Sean Penn, swore up and down he was going to go fight for the Ukraine and fight for their rights, which is funny coming from a guy who his entire career has advocated for stripping arms from Americans, but whatever. So he goes over to Ukraine, he gets his vest on, he gets his gear, and he's going to go out and he's going to fight. And the first fucking sign of combat on the horizon, he turns tail and runs straight for the Poland's border.
Yeah, well, besides that, he's a liability on the battlefield anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that it would have been a mistake to put him out there at all because he's an actor.
Allow him to be anywhere near it.
Well, Zelensky's an actor too.
Yeah, I know. That's the
Apparently
problem.
he's $100 billion actor.
Actually, you know what's messed up? If
Highest paid actor ever.
got him, if the Russians got Sean Penn, they would probably recognize him and just sit around and smoke blunts with him until somebody traded him for something.
Oh yeah, no, they would pull another Brittany Griner. That was a good job.
Think about it. Any random Russian that ran up on Sean Penn and be like, "I loved you in that movie," run right by him. They wouldn't shoot him. They'd be like, "It's Sean Penn. Don't shoot him."
At this point, it's all a bunch of bullshit. Like I want to see the footage on the ground. I want to see the footage on the where are the journalists that have the bulletproof vests on and fucking Kevlars like we were in Afghanistan or Iraq.
Well,
There's footage of that.
First of all, man, so Biden goes over there to do a photo op in a war zone with air raid sirens going off. He's the president of the United States. There is no goddamn way the Secret Service would allow him to be anywhere near that shit. There was nothing happening in that area. Not a damn thing. Regardless of how you feel about him, the POTUS does not get put into danger.
No.
No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And then me being from the border, I'll say where I'm from. So I'm from El Paso, and there was a huge border crisis where all the illegal immigrants were sleeping in the streets of El Paso, and it was dangerous to the point like no one's going to go out because there has been several incidents that happened. Well, President Biden came to El Paso and they cleaned those streets, sparkling clean, like no indication, like homeless immigrants were sleeping on the street. And I remember he looked at it. He's like, yeah, there's no issue here because the media's covering it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care. You don't care.
It's all optics.
Yeah.
It's propaganda.
Yeah, it is. And like he was only in El Paso for like 4 hours. Like
I mean,
did a little.
it's almost proper grandpa.
Eh,
Yeah, probably had to leave early to
Waka
change his
waka.
diaper.
Yeah, right. Waka waka. That's right. Let everybody
Yeah.
know that's a
Bum,
joke. So
bum,
we know
bum,
when to laugh.
bum,
I don't care. I thought it was funny.
bum. Fucking
But, you know, yeah,
not even a dad joke, grandpa joke.
Right. Nomi, you make a good point though, and it's actually good that you're talking about that. You know, like obviously you don't want to, you know, give too much information about your personal stuff away, but you know, the fact that they swept all of it out of the sight of the cameras when he showed up, and then, you know, and nobody hears about this shit except people who were there.
Yeah.
No one hears about that. First time I heard about it was when you told me.
Yeah, no, there is a Instagram account that is based solely in El Paso, like what happens. It can be social, it can be current events that are happening, and they documented everything that happened with all the illegal immigrants, all like the bad stuff, all the good stuff. Who are like, yeah, we're coming to the community to like feed them and give them blankets. Like, okay, that's good. Like, that's good as long as they're being fed and actually have some stuff to take care of themselves. Great, but there were so many things that was negative. Crime has gone up in El Paso. A lot of the teenagers have gotten a hold of drugs to distribute and sell, and they have these weapons now. Where now El Paso is no longer the safest city in El Paso in the state. So nobody knows about these issues because it's not being told. It's not being spoke about because it doesn't exist. It's all in our heads. It's not real. So yeah, and I'm passionate about it because that's my hometown.
That's insane.
Yeah. So like that's when I hear like people who've never been to El Paso or a border city, country, state, whatever. And I do have friends in the north, especially like Minnesota, like, oh yeah, there's no issue. Like, no, like please come visit. I'll show you amazing, great Mexican food. Come to my house, I'll show you, but let's take a drive down in Central and you'll see all the issues that's happening. That's still there. And if you talk to Border Patrol people who are working there and customs agents who are at the border, they're just dead tired. They're overworked, underappreciated, and they have to deal with people's nonsense. And a lot of these Border Patrol agents are just travel agents for them. Like, just tell me where your family is. Okay, we'll book you a flight to go over there. They don't do anything because our administration has failed to stop anything.
Oh, I really wish I got to travel for free. That's nice.
I know, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, nothing's free. Somebody's paying for it. Just anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's us.
I'm paying for it. Yeah.
Right. I posted reposted a meme the other day that I saw somewhere. I don't even remember whose it was initially, but showed a picture of a map of where exactly my taxes should go, and it was a picture of the lower 48, and everything else was blue ocean. And I agree. My taxes should go to this country. Your Ukrainian taxes should go to the Ukrainian country. That's not how it works, but that's how it should work.
Totally agree. Totally 100% agree.
Hey, remember when it was going to cost about $4 billion to build that wall at the southern border?
Yeah.
And now we've sent $100 billion to some country.
We sent enough to build a couple of domes over Eastern Europe.
Mm.
You know, like nation-sized domes.
And like AOC
Mars
was
project.
moaning when we gave money to Israel for Iron Dome, and it was like what, like $2 billion. She's like, we should not be funding the anti. Look, I'm not trying to get anything. I'm not trying to start.
No.
But I'm just saying, it's like.
But every country has a right to defend itself, especially
Agreed.
Israel. Yeah,
I agree.
And then every other countries too. Like we'll help out and everything, but for Ukraine,
I'm a little less in agreement with you on the helping out part. I think they have the right to defend themselves. I don't think it's my problem.
I have a question.
Unless it's my country.
Not my pig, not my farm. Yes.
Well, I also kind of understand it from the perspective, like, what if Russia decided to set up in Mexico? We'd probably have a little bit of a shit fit, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Yes. Okay. So that's where I get my blood boiling on this, because there has been such, like, not that I'm mad about it, but kind of I am. but there has been such an increase of Russian and Ukrainian people that cross the border illegally and are hanging out in El Paso.
Oh wow, really? I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah, it's. I'm not saying
Oh,
it's bad. They
geez.
haven't done anything to what's been reported from my friends who kind of are, my friends who are in Border Patrol and Customs. But even being around is like, I've never seen this amount of people. And me being there, grown up my whole life, Mexican town, everybody's brown, maybe 90% Mexican, 5% white, and then the other whatever.
You
And
hear that,
then-
Canadians who need to get away, get down to Mexico. You can come in that way.
Yeah, no.
I've said
And-
that multiple times, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just so amazing that nothing's being taken care of. Now, if there are people who are escaping this fake war or this war in general, but please do it legally. That's how my parents did it. My parents waited at the bridge. They waited to get a hearing from the court, and they got approved to come here, and now they're legal citizens.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that.
That's how my buddy Pano did it.
That's the lame way to do it. You gotta swim the river, and you get money on the other side.
Don't listen to that jackass at the bottom of the screen. Ciao, go ahead.
I say that's how my buddy Pano did it. He applied for citizenship in Phoenix, came up here and worked in Wyoming for a long time, and then eventually had to go back to Phoenix to finish getting his citizenship, and he did because he's like, I'm not going to be just another illegal immigrant. I refuse to do it.
Yeah,
same with my dad.
He gets mad respect for that, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I tout these days a lot of isolationist policies, and mostly it's because I am just sick to death of being involved in a fucking world that despises us for whatever reasons. I just am. We don't need them. They don't need us. Let's go our separate fucking ways. However, a part of me still very much believes in that American dream, that dream where anybody can come here and opportunities are available to them. Obviously, the more rational part of myself saying, "Are you fucking stupid?" But that little bitty nagging bit in the back of my head is like, of course we should allow people to come here legally.
Yeah.
And to pursue things like life, liberty, and happiness.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, I absolutely believe that should be the case, but it's getting to a point now where it's almost like it's just not worth being involved in the rest of the fucking world.
Yeah, that's what, like I said, boils my blood because
The
my
ruble's
parents
about
did-
to overtake the U.S. dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My parents
fuck
did it
What
the right
the
way.
fuck?
I didn't read that one. I didn't know that.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah. They're positioning themselves to become the dominant currency in trade worldwide, which will
bless.
replace us. Which means, you remember what happened to the ruble back in the late 80s?
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to happen to us.
Yep.
And it's going to do it soon. And they're being backed by China and, yes, Carrie, Tehran. So, yeah, but I never fucking thought I'd see the day where the ruble recovered and overtook us. I mean, Jesus.
I was actually hoping the Iraqi dinar might have, come up a little bit because I had a bunch of it stashed and I was going to sell it off, but never happened.
Oh, we lost somebody. Carrie Liz? Oh, it was Carrie.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, Carrie.
I think he was probably still upset about the Disney thing.
Yeah, private jet.
I missed it. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. He had said he wasn't calm.
Yeah.
So, he's got the link though. If he wants to come back, we can bring him back in. He might have been called away too. I mean, the guy's got responsibilities.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to head out soon. I gotta go pick up the kid.
I'm gonna head out soon because I gotta go get some dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. I think actually, yeah, that's probably a good plan. We might just wrap this one up a little earlier than usual. We're over 2 hours at this point anyway. So, What do you want to say something, Larry?
I just did.
I see Larry got his black moment in.
He's got to do that. He's got to do that like weird neck thing too when he does that. There you go.
Well, I just want to reiterate with everybody that the cocaine cat is nice and safe, and to be sure to stand by and wait for the first trailer for Cocaine Shark is out apparently.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, they're already
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna do it.
they're already jumping that shark.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
yo,
gonna
boo
start.
boo.
I'm gonna make my own movie. I'm gonna call it Crack Fiend Ferret.
You know,
I'd watch it.
Shadow keeps
Anybody
talking
for a
about
meth lab? You know, a Labrador Retriever all jacked up on meth.
That's good. That's good.
God.
Yeah, yeah. Shadow keeps talking about meth gator, like cocaine bear versus meth gator.
I'd probably watch it.
I would definitely
Yeah.
watch it. That sounds like fun.
I would watch it too.
So, but yeah, I think this has been a really good discussion, though. And I think you know, I don't know if we've solved world peace here or anything like that. I'm not sure that we'd care to, but it's been a good discussion, and I thank you all for coming and being here. This has been it's been really great.
I
Let's,
appreciate you having me, bud.
Oh yeah, brother. Anytime, man. I just figured, you know, you might get in on the aliens topic, and we got away from that real quick after you got here. So sorry.
It's the beard that did it.
I mean, we did spend a good hour and 12 minutes talking about it. So
We did.
that's
true.
that's you know,
It's a record.
if you're
Almost.
if you're on time, you're late.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It says a guy who showed up like literally 30 seconds before I did.
No, I was in there because my comment in the private chat was at yours was at 6:03 and mine was at 6:05. Eat a dick. Fucker.
Yeah. Eat a dick, huh? You first.
The difference is mine is imaginary. The one that you gotta fucking eat is real because you just got fucking skunked.
All right. Yeah, you know, whatever. I'll take it. I'll take it right up the pooper. Moving on. Why don't we go around and everybody you plug your stuff. Let's start let's go clockwise. Start with Kat.
All right, so I will probably be playing World of Warcraft tomorrow with Muggsykins. Then Thursday, me and Shadow of Hawk have Merry Madness. Unless something comes up, Shadow, you better be there. Then Friday, Royal Rumble. Wait, next week it's off.
Yeah,
next week it's off.
sorry. You almost got me on that one too.
Yeah, and
I was
then
like,
back to Saturday again. And I don't know. I'm going to try and see if I could live stream more during the week. Getting used to the new hours. It's kind of hard, you know, staying up at different times because I don't know. It's a little weird now.
You'll adjust.
But yeah. So probably World of Warcraft tomorrow, which is awesome. Cool.
Nice. Ciao.
Just stay tuned. I'll, you know, pop in when I can. Glad to be a part of this channel, and yeah, y'all have a good night.
Awesome sauce. Larry.
Be sure to check us out next Thursday. Myself and Samuel the Infamous. And don't tell Amira I was on.
He lives in fear. Fear.
Yes, but check Samuel and I out next Thursday on Abyssal Musings. If I'm still alive, if she sees this stream.
I'll be there. You can come check me out if Larry gets killed.
Larry, it's nice knowing you.
Yeah, I'm on as soon as I get out of here. Hello?
Boy, for such a tiny woman, she has a lot of pent up aggression.
Verve. That's verve. Careful.
Verve. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Nomi, go ahead.
Well, I'll be on anyone's stream with. We're not going to be meeting next Friday, so Monday we have the Game of Thrones one. So I'll be there, and then I'm editing my first YouTube video. So check it out. I postponed it for the longest time, but now I'm finally getting to it.
Fuck, it's about time.
I know. I'm just terrible. I'm terrible. But it's my life, and I'll live my life how I want to.
Been harassing you for like a week and a half.
What were you saying, Samuel?
That I'm subbed and waiting.
Oh, thank you. It's going to be dumb, but it's a video.
Squatch.
Yeah, bud.
What do you got coming
We're
up?
doing that thing. That thing.
Yeah,
that
we're
I
doing
did.
this thing.
All right, all right. So I interview YouTubers mainly because I want to see the breadth of what YouTube has to offer. Everything from folks who cop watch all the way through to different lawyers and artists, knitters, Bigfoot hunters, pixie hunters, you name it. If there's a genre for YouTube, I'm perfectly willing to interview you on it. It'll be great. We're going to talk about your content. I want to ask anything off of a topic, but you can bring up any other sites that y'all have. Is perfectly acceptable behavior. Your links get dropped in the chat, and everything's linked in the description. And then there's an episode later called Sasquatch Shills, so you don't have to.
Yeah, I've been on a
What
couple of
was that?
times. His show's a lot of fun, actually. I'd recommend checking that out sometime. And all that, and especially for newer and up and coming channels, he's really great about that. Specifically, yeah.
What's up, Sasquatch?
Looking at you, Nomi. So, Ryan, what you got?
Well, saving the lowest tier for last because I don't blame you. The best thing that I do is Friday night's Royal Rumble. We did that last night. We only went for an hour. Next week is going to be postponed, but we will be doing Game of Thrones season 2, episode number 8. It's 8, right?
Yep.
Okay. Episode number 8. Other than that, I make pretty basic YouTube videos. I complain about Hollywood, Disney, and how they're trying to screw with the whole entire culture and why they're bringing down the world. And my latest video to go insane was about how Gavin McInnes is a clown bag, but I would have preferred to say a punk bitch, but YouTube doesn't like that.
Yeah, it was a good video though. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
It becomes a problem when you use that in the title.
Yeah, that's why I had to go clown bag. I wanted to say punk bitch, or no, not that. I wanted to say douchebag, but I was like, I can't say that either. Yeah, I did get some pushback. There's some people who are like, Gavin's awesome. You're such a lame take, and I'm like, yeah, okay, dude.
Yeah, I saw some of their comments too, and I was just like, do I say something to him or pick a fight, or do I just leave it alone? I just left it alone and made fun of your wording. But it was a good video. It was a great video, actually. I really did enjoy it. I thought you were fine in that. It was good.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for watching.
No worries.
Hey, Squatch, if you're ever looking for someone interesting to talk to about basically whatever the hell's on your mind, Sam's got my info. Hit me up.
Yeah, bud. Anytime. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern is my typical time. Unless I'm here doing stuff like this.
Right.
Ladies first, though, Chow.
Whoever. My email is caucasiansasquatch@gmail. Just hit me up. I will set something up. I'm not hard to do with, man.
I'm just jealous of his beard. I just say something.
Everybody's jealous of his beard,
on my
dude.
show and be jealous. It is
I mean, I'm jealous of his beard, and it's like.
Well, I'll try and compete with the beard, man. I mean, I can do it.
It's Tucker's only downfall in Cat's eyes. He doesn't have a beard.
Why, Tucker? You look so good with a beard.
He is unfortunately beardless, but as you can see in this pic here, he has a magnificent fro.
and quite the penis.
Yeah.
That's quite the large penis.
You know what, Kat? I'm starting to imagine Tucker with a beard, and I think, I see it now.
Hey, if he loses his contract with Fox over this shit, he may in fact grow a beard out, because I think that's part of his contract is he has to keep clean shaven for the camera.
Oh, okay.
Probably, yeah.
So, who knows? You may one day, if things work out in a certain way, see.
Lord, I don't want him to lose his job, but I also want him to have a beard.
Right. So, all right, guys. I'm Samuel the Infamous. This is my channel. This is where you can find me. I do a show on Thursdays with Lawrence Knight called Abyssal Musings. There's this one, Screaming into the Void. Occasionally, if I have time, I pop in on Royal Rumble, which there will not be one next week. See, I remembered. And I'm just giving you shit. And that's you can find about me occasionally over on Lioness Exiled, not the Exiled Lioness Exiled.
Yeah, go subscribe over there because her channel being taken down was horse shit.
So
it's trash.
And everybody on panel who was on panel, even Carrie, all of their YouTube channels are in the description below. You can find them there. Thank you all for coming. It's been actually, I think a damn good episode. We've had a good conversation here.
Hey, Sam.
Yo,
Party on, Wayne.
party on, Garth.
Night.
Night. And remember, YouTube. It could always be worse. It could be raining flaming.
Flame Crovers.